Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Green Wisdom with LANCESCURV as the sidekick. I'm so glad she's back. The title of tonight's show is What Young Women Urgently Need to Know, General Tips and Advice. And I'm sitting here at the edge of my seat wondering how deep this is going to go, because you know it's never just a light vibration when Sister Green Wisdom comes on. I just want to welcome you on in. Green Wisdom, it's always a pleasure. It's always an honor. And we're flowing today. This is like, what, the third video we have going on? So I've been getting some good sleep too. I got to say that much. Your mic is muted, Green Wisdom, so come in when you want. The floor is yours. I'm here with you. And let me ask you, like, this topic, it's necessary, especially from a woman to a woman. There's certain places you can go. There's certain things that you see that maybe a man who's given a woman advice might miss. What was the motivation, if I can ask you, like when you said, hey, I have to do this? It's all right with me. You can talk about anything you want. You know, you can talk about Godzilla eating peanut butter sandwiches on a skateboard in the middle of Main Street. It doesn't matter. I know you're going to turn it around into something good. But what was the motivation? Like what did you see something in the street, or did you see something online, or you said, we got to talk to the women? Talk to me.
You are enough. The reason why you are enough, if somebody says you are enough, what does it mean? It just means that you as a person, you are valuable and lovable simply because you exist. Okay? Just because you exist. If there's something that you're not good at, it is an area where you're not good at, there's another area where you are good at. Okay? Let's say you don't know how to braid hair, but you know how to really cook. You know how to cook a really good meal. Okay? You don't know how to dance, but you know how to draw. You're really artistic. You're really creative. You know how to draw. Do you see that? You are enough. I never got this when I was growing up. Even like it was never told to me. So you like not having like certain information, it kind of causes several gaps in your mind. So you kind of have to learn so many lessons to piece it all together. But the first on the list that I want to share with you is to let you know that you are enough. And what it truly means for you as a person is that you have value. Okay. There's something you're good at. You several things you're good at. But you are, as a person, you are valuable and you are lovable just because you exist. You are enough. Okay, so that's the first on the list. The second on the list is to take it easy on yourself. Okay. Every time you walk out of the house, you go in here and there, you're taking care of errands, you're going to school, you're going to college, wherever you're going to work. Make sure that you take it easy. You're not too hard on yourself at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Just remember that at any given moment, you're working with what you know. Okay. We're all working with the knowledge we have. See, the things we were taught in high school and, high school, college, and wherever, things people told us, that's all information we got. And we're always working with what we know. Like, I'm not going to go operate, like, I'm not going to go step in for a mechanic. I don't know anything about fixing cars. You see, I don't know that. So I'm always working with what I know. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to be working with what I don't know.
Right.
You see, so every time you wake up, the knowledge you accrued, the knowledge you've gained, information you gained for your from the time you was young till now, that's what you have. You're always working with what you know. So take it easy on yourself. If there's certain things you don't know, there's certain things you feel you can't do right now, just take it. Don't be too hard on yourself and go down that downward spiral where I'm not good enough. I'm not this because I don't know how to do this. Because don't go that. You're always working with what you know. So take it easy on yourself. and try not to be, like I said, too hard on yourself. Learn from the lessons in your life, people that betray you, people, just take them all as lessons, so the next person that comes into your life, you know how to properly, like handle that situation in case it turns out the same way. You have already experienced it, so you'll be used to it. These are all lessons. We deal with bullies in the workplace, bullies at school, and all that. All these things are lessons, like they're teaching us something. So don't be too hard on yourself. If there's an area where you felt like you couldn't stand up for yourself, don't be too hard on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say for the second point.
You're right.
We're going to the third point. You want to add anything to it?
Oh, I just wanted to say you're right about that, because there's so much pressure to be perfect, so much pressure to be excellent, to excel, so much pressure to look good, so much pressure to not look distressed, but you can be stressed. So much pressure for everything to be perfect. And then we have, depending on the situation, lots of us, and I'll include men on that, but we're talking about the young ladies now, the pressure to be everything to everybody. There's a certain time in a young lady's life, and it may not be 100%, but I'll say the majority, where they want to please because it's in their nature to please. And there are people who take advantage of that. It could be family members, it could be friends, it could be on the job. You're trying to do right, and it just seems like you can't do it right because of the people who see that in you and use you. And you jump through hoops, and they raise the hoop higher and higher, and you're getting more and more frustrated. And then sometimes behind that, you might think that you're not good enough, but it doesn't mean that when people are using you. I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you made a good point. There's so many, I wouldn't really call it obstacles, but it's like lessons, experiences and lessons, But sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves. Nobody's hard on themselves and themselves. I don't know if that makes sense. Like nobody can be, I'm always, like, I'm not always, not anymore, but I used to be, so we're always confronted with situations. So it can be easy to be hard on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. It can be very easy to just kind of turn on yourself. You know what I mean? And like start having these negative thoughts. And I'm not, it's very easy. It's not so easy to be positive, like to think positive about yourself and to be all uppity. And it's not that easy, but it's very easy to be negative, like so easy. I mean, you don't even have to, it comes so easy. It's crazy. But yeah, take it easy on yourself. Whatever happens in your life, people come into your life to be lessons. Sometimes they come to your life to be lessons or to be blessings, So just take whatever you learn from it and, don't be too hard on yourself. And then the third point I wanted to make is, do not place anyone or anything on a pedestal. In other words, do not make anyone more important than yourself. You have to exist in order for that person to exist, right? Like you have to, or that person or that thing, you have to exist before that person can exist. Because if you didn't exist, then that person doesn't exist either. You see? So they're not more important than you. You're just as important. So do not place one person, like maybe a speaker or some like celebrity, I don't know, like do not place somebody like on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. Don't make somebody so important, like, and make yourself small. So I'm trying to say you are just as important. Okay. That person sneezes when they get a cold, that person coughs, they blow their nose, they do whatever, just like you do. So it doesn't make any sense to put anybody on a pedestal. You can respect them, respect their status and whatnot, and just keep it pushing. Okay, admire them and whatnot, but don't put anybody on a pedestal. because when they figure out that you have them on a pedestal, they can easily, they can easily mistreat you because now you're their subordinate or whatever. Disrespect people and, do whatever, admire people, but don't put anybody above you, because you're just as important. If you didn't exist, they wouldn't exist either, because you have to exist in order to recognize them in your reality, like in order for you to acknowledge that they also exist. So you are just as important as that person you're, praising or whatever.
Great point.
And then my next point, you want to add anything?
Well, no, I want to just check on the stove real quick. I'll be back in maybe like 90 seconds. Okay. I'll be right back. Mm-hmm.
My next point is always have a plan B or backup plan whenever you go to places that you're not familiar with. Okay. Plan B could be how you're going to get back home, phone numbers to call, bus transportation, like any type of information, and a trusted relative that you can call, that kind of thing. Just make sure you have a plan B. I've had situations where like this was years ago, but I learned really quick that I had to make sure I always had a backup plan. So always make sure you have a plan B. Always make sure you have a plan B. And there's Airbnb, there's Airbnb, there's what is it called? I don't want to say shelters, but there's Airbnb, there is hostels. Hostels are like bunk beds. You share a room with, a room has several bunk beds, and you just pay and share a room with a bunch of people. Could be for a night, but it's just have a backup plan, always when you're going somewhere really far, and you just have a backup plan. That's what I'm trying to say. So you don't find yourself in a situation where it's unfavorable. My next point is your beauty comes from within you. It is your heart that determines what beauty is, what your beauty is. Beauty is not a person's skin color, facial appearance, or hair. All those things are superficial, artificial. They fade away with time. But your heart remains the same. From the time you were born till whenever, your heart, it never changes. You can't put makeup on your heart, like you can't dress up your heart. It's just, your heart is within you. That's what determines your beauty. Okay. People can see it, that we've really been tricked into what really the beauty standards and all that stuff. All of that stuff is talking about the physical appearance. Look, anybody can put on makeup and look really, really attractive, but then they go home and they start mistreating. They're ugly when they're home, but on the outside they're pretty. So who are you really fooling? Your heart. I don't want to go into religion or anything, but there's a part in the Bible that says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh, right? So your heart has to be like, see, if somebody's really upset, somebody's really, really like angry, mad, upset, they're going to speak, it's going to come out. It's your heart that is really dictating everything. Your heart is what shows whether you're a kind person or you're a cruel, wicked person. Your heart is what determines whether you're a murderer or you're whatever. Your heart is what determines everything. It also determines your beauty. Okay. Your heart. People don't really look at some people can see past the physical. Like, it will shock you. Like, some people don't really see your physical. They look straight through you. It's almost like you're not even, like, it's almost like we're transparent sometimes. Some people can see right through you. You may be sitting there feeling insecure. Oh, I'm not pretty, or I'm not this, I'm not that. And somebody could just, just see you and just be blown away because of your heart. It's strange, but it's the heart that really determines your beauty. That's why it says beauty is skin deep, Beauty is within you. It's inside of you. Nobody can take it out of you. Nobody can remove it. It's your heart. Okay. So your heart is what really determines everything. So you have to stop, like, you can dress up, you can do whatever, beautify your body and everything, but always remember that your beauty is your heart. It's nobody can buy, like, it's not something I can buy, a cosmetic I can buy and just apply. No, that's not beauty. Okay. That's just, what is it? They call it, that's just like, you know how people dress up like Spider-Man, or they dress up like, you can put anything on your body. It means nothing. Makeup, eyelashes, whatever, long nails, it don't matter. That's not beauty. Beauty is in your heart, your core of who you are, your being inside of you. That's what beauty is. And it shines, it comes out for all to see. It will show in your face. It will show in your body language. It will show. Your heart is what pumps blood into your whole body, right? So we really have to work on our hearts. You hold a grudge with somebody, you hate somebody, all of this stuff is in your heart. You have to clean out your heart. That's why there's a part that says, in the Bible, there's a part that says your heart has to be light as a feather. See, the heart is what dictates everything. Your heart is what is placed on a scale, and the feather is placed on the other side of the scale. Your heart, it cannot be too heavy. You gotta let a lot of things go. Okay. So your beauty can shine. So that's my next point. So moving on. This other point I'm about to make, it's really simple. I just want to say that other people's opinions and gossips about you are not important. Only take it seriously when the gossips are going to affect or impact your career or life. Once you foresee that's happening, talk to people you trust, gather some ideas, do some research, find a better way to move forward. Okay. Not everybody's going to like you. Look at the lion in the jungle. I'm willing to bet you 99.9% of all the animals in the jungle don't like the lion. Okay. The hyena doesn't like the lion. The cheetah doesn't like the lion. The hippos, the crocodile, nobody likes the lion. Okay. But does it care? No, it's always going to be a lion. Have you seen these animal videos? If you see these animal videos on YouTube, especially, you should take some time. I'm not talking about you, Lance. I'm talking about just anybody that wants to do it. Take some time and just really look at the male lion, especially the female lion too, but the male lion. The way it walks, Lance, I've never seen courage like that before. You got human beings that don't even have the courage a lion has. Okay. You got cowards out here that are human beings. You should look at the lion, the way it just carries itself. My gosh. It carries itself in confidence. Like any animal it faces it has confidence. It believes, like, I don't know if it believes in itself, but it walks in confidence, Lance.
Yes.
With so much courage. Like I've never seen an animal can portray all these attributes and qualities. And you got human beings just can't even match up to that. What an animal possesses. Like, isn't that weird? You know?
It is, yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So
it has more confidence, like, and they all are like this. So when we look at the essence of a lion and how it may have so many gossipers, so to say, or enemies, they wouldn't dare come to his face with it. You see what I mean? Wouldn't dare do it. They're scared to do it when the lion is asleep. See? So this is a lesson for us, because these people out here who gossip on you, have something to say, they see your brilliance and they know they can't measure up to you. And it's not a sin to have confidence, especially when you've earned it. How could a person be a doctor and operate on someone without confidence? How can I operate a piece of machinery, that a huge crane that I've been trained to operate, that most people don't even know how to operate, and not have confidence? So shine, not the false bravado, I say, but when you earned it, you have the right to shine. And when you earned it and you shine, it makes me happy, because it gives me the right to shine in the things that I do, not in a competitive spirit, but in one of camaraderie. Like, yes, we bad. You know what I mean? But go ahead, sister.
Right. Yeah, it's just that our confidence has tanked. Like a lot of people, a lot of us, we as children, we were really confident, and the people around us saw that, you know. But it's like as you grow up, you start depression and all of that stuff kicks in, you know, because of the way you're thinking. And then you just end up, you know, not being confident in yourself. And then when other people, like, it's like everybody has something they're dealing with, and it doesn't help for somebody to be gossiping and adding more injury to the, you know what I mean? Everybody's going through something, or everybody knows somebody that's going through something. So these gossips, other people's opinions about you and gossips about you are not important. They're not important, especially if you don't live with the person. If they are at the workplace, you know, it gives you an opportunity to think of new ways to get out of that area, get out of that department. Okay. Maybe there's a position that's open, you know, start looking, but you have to get away from these types of people and not let it affect you. If it's a workplace situation where people are just, it's just people's opinions. They're just opinions, the gossips and all of that stuff. They make stuff up all the time too, that are not even true. It's crazy. But other people's opinions about you has nothing to do with it. These celebrities, people are always talking about them. Okay. Do you think the celebrity loses sleep over what the fans are talking about? Or if two people are sitting up at 2 a.m. talking about Beyonce, do you think she's going to lose sleep over it? It's just opinions. So see these gossips as opinions. They don't matter. It'll only matter if it's going to affect your money, you know, your work. You're in a work environment where it's going to affect you. Then now you can take it seriously and you can get with HR or whoever, you know, figure out talk to people to see what some of these ideas can, you know, you can do with some of these ideas. So I'm trying to say. So my next point is use your natural gifts, talents, and hobbies to profit and prosper in life. So a lot of people do this. Even these celebrities do it. A musician is a musician, but then they also have a they have a clothing line, or they have this other line, you know, they outside of the music, outside of their main career or occupation. They use their hobbies, their gifts, and their other talents to do other things. So whatever you're good at, you know, whatever you used to do the most when you was little, try to, you know, get back into that. You know, if you like coloring, you could pick up some color pencils and just try to see what you can really do with them to make a profit aside from your main income that you're, you know, something on the side, you know, because it will improve your creativity. It will give you a lot of fulfillment. Like if you know how to draw, that's, you know, something you can practice and, you know, outside of your work. So use your natural talents, gifts, hobbies, figure out how you can prosper with just those things. See what ideas pop up, you know, so that's my other point. And then going on to the next point is taking action is an effective way to overcome sadness and depression. Taking action is an effective way to overcome sadness and depression. An action can be planting, gardening, knitting, yoga, sewing, listening to calm, relaxing music, meditation music, reading. You have to take action. Sadness and depression wants you to be in bed with no action. So you counteract that with action. Start cleaning, washing the dishes, or start doing laundry. You have to take action to overcome it. Okay. You have to, if you're dealing with depression and you dealing with sadness, consider taking action. If any of any kind, any type of action. It could just be tidying your room, you know, folding the clothes. I don't know, taking a walk, cooking some food, anything. Force yourself to take action. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're dealing with depression, because that's what's going to get you out of that depressive state. Okay. Be your own best friend. I think I've said this before. Be your own best friend. Become your own cheerleader in everything that you do. Celebrate things you accomplish, no matter how small. So this is pretty straightforward, you know. If you don't celebrate you, who's gonna do it? So take time to, you know, celebrate the little victories and the, you know, everything about your life, you know, celebrate. If you want every day to be your birthday, you could do that too. Right. I mean,
You have the right.
I mean, we have so many days to live or something, you know, who knows? So just enjoy, just celebrate, relax, you know, pamper yourself, you know, take care of, become your own best friend. All the things
That's right.
that you would do for a lover, do it to yourself. Do it for yourself. You want flowers, buy yourself flowers. You want to have dinner at a really expensive restaurant, take yourself out. Just become your own best friend, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Get to know yourself. You want to add anything, Lance?
If you want sushi, go get sushi.
Yeah. Yes.
No, whatever it is that, you know, in lots of times when we get older, I don't mean old or whatever, but at any age, as we get older, right, we start to look sideways when there's something we're going to do for ourselves. I'm not saying everybody, right, but many of us, I got to be very careful how I speak, but many of us look sideways like, is it okay if I do this for myself? They may not ask anybody, but they have that feeling like, I'm doing something for myself. Why do I feel a little guilty? You don't have to feel guilty. You're going to be the only person who's with you the whole life other than the Creator.
Yes.
When you were born, you were with you. Every experience that you had, good, bad, and embarrassing, you were with you. The time you transition, you're going to be with you. There's going to be no human being on this earth that's going to be with you more than you. So treat you good. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty for treating yourself good, because there's only one you. And you know how to treat yourself good. You know what it is that you like. You know what your talents and abilities are. So don't let anybody step in on that, because we have people who want to make you feel guilty, but when you do for them, they feel entitled. And that's wrong. And if you see anybody who is like this, who feels a little sheepish to do something for themselves, encourage them and tell them they're worthy and they're supposed to be able to do for themselves. It's just like the former point when you made, when you have the gossipers and whatever. I'm a pit bull. I hate to see that. I'm going to go in and straighten it out. So if I see somebody who is a little shy to do right by themselves, I'm going to boost them up in a positive way until they can really see the truth that they need to love themselves. Because when you love yourself, it's not a sin. We're not talking about the narcissistic foolishness that some people go through. But when you take care of yourself, sometimes we take care of ourselves more with a vehicle. We make sure to get it tuned up and the oil change and the filters change and the fluids change, and we don't think to ourselves, did I drink enough liquid today? Am I dehydrated today? Do I want to sleep a little extra on the weekend? Do I need to go and take myself shopping and take myself on a date? We need to do that. You know, sorry to run off so much, but these points are good. Go ahead, sister.
No, I really like it. The narcissistic foolishness. Oh my gosh. That was funny. That's what I caught. But I mean, I caught the other stuff he said too. But
right.
Yeah.
No, I know. I understand.
It's hilarious. But yeah, like you said earlier, you're gonna be with you from the time you're born till the time, you know, like you're always gonna be with you. So what's the point, you know? Like, if you watch these science videos, do you know how many sperms you had to beat just to get to the egg? For you to be here today, and you're just like, you know, you just don't, you're just doing the bare minimum for yourself. You're not really like what you had to go through. Even as a sperm, you had that drive, you had that, you beat all billions, I'm talking billions of sperm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you made it, you did it, you are here because you did it.
That's right.
It may not be significant, but it's an accomplishment. You wouldn't be here if you slacked or during that process. Okay, so you are here, you are an adult, you are grown. You have your hang-ups, you have your, you have certain things to deal with and whatnot, but it doesn't help to beat yourself down. It doesn't help to put other people above you. It doesn't help to always be available for people and never for yourself. Do you see? It doesn't help. So it's just time to turn the tables, in your favor and start doing things that you love. Okay. This year is we're still in the new year. We're not still in the first week, but it's like technically still like sort of the first week of 2024. Where do you want to be? Like, where do you want to be at age 30? Where do you want to be at age 40? Where do you want to be at age 50? Like, what kind of life do you want to live? These are things you have to be thinking about. These are things you have to be occupied. You should be occupying yourself, drawing up a plan, figuring out some ideas, using the internet. Your phone is a resource. It gets you on the internet. It gets you can search for answers quick. You use all your resources and figure out where you want to be in life and focus on that. Because we've wasted so much of, oh my gosh, like I don't know anybody who, like, if I look back at my life like several years back, it's like, wow, what have I been doing? What have I been doing? It's incredible. We've invested our time, our life, our energy, our lives, our energies to other people, to everybody. We're just loaning it out. It takes energy to lift a pen. Okay, it takes energy to lift a pen from a table, to lift a glass off of a table or a surface. It takes energy. You may not feel it. You may not know. When you are sick, that's when you really realize that it takes energy. You are sick and you are in bed and you are weak. Just lifting one thing. Do you see how, if you've ever been in that situation, it's like a chore just to lift one thing up from a surface, a book or whatever. But now that if you're healthy and it doesn't feel like you can just pick anything up and put it here, but it's all energy. So we've been investing through our actions. We've been investing our energy on other people or in other situations that we should be cutting back on, essentially. Budget your energy.
There you go.
So my next point is, use your mind and your imagination to think of a better solution in life that you want. Today, I already said it. So if you whatever you can see in your mind, you can achieve it. And a lot of people have said this before. The buildings, like Brother Lance have said this so many times. The buildings, everything you see out here, it was first in somebody else's mind. They had to think about it. And now we have a building. We have a skyscraper. We have this, we have that, a boat, a ship, everything, just you name it. Bicycle, car. This was all somebody else's thoughts in somebody's mind. So whatever life that you want, think it. Jot it down. And then, figure out, how am I going to accomplish this? What materials do I need? What people do I need to talk to? What calls do I need to make? Then get it done. See, take charge of your life, So that's all I wanted to say for that. Nobody told me this. The little things that could have really made a huge impact in my life. So it took years for me to get to this point. Like, oh my gosh, I just got to really sit and think really hard and figure out, how to change my situation, and I can actually do it. I can actually accomplish it. So
Yes.
that's the next point here. My next point is you are the most important person in this life. If you didn't exist, nothing around you would exist. I've said this already before,
Wow.
earlier. You are the most important person in this life. The most important in your life. Forget about everybody else. See, your friends and all, these people were once strangers. Okay, you didn't know that. You, as a baby, did you know any of these people you know now? No.
No.
It's just that you just became familiar with them, and it's all you. You sat down and thought, oh, maybe this guy, maybe this girl is a cool person. I'm gonna, and you thought about it before you let them in closer to you, and now they're a friend, and you're this and you're that. You are the most important person in this life. You are. So it's like, if you have to see, like, let's say a circle, right? There's a circle. That's why they call it the people in your circle. You are in the middle of that circle, and all these people are around you. So you are the most important person. Like, you're like a director of your life. You're the CEO of your life. So you can make any decision. Like, if you feel like, some people are like, let me segue real quick. Some people are like, it's like you have I think Valuetainment also said it too.
Mhm.
It's like you have a rubber band, like a rubber band around you, where everybody's pulling on it. Okay.
Oh,
If
man.
somebody, people are always pulling on you. You are at the center of this circle, your family, your cousins, everybody's just pulling on this rubber band. And some of them, depending on how much you've allowed them to get away with certain things, they have pulled the rubber band so far to where if you decide to cut them off, like, how a rubber band, when you pull it really, wide apart and you let one side go, it hits really hard, like it really hurts.
Things.
Yeah, it really, really. So a lot of people are like rubber bands. Like, you have a big rubber band around you, and everybody is pulling onto it. See, and some people, when they started, like overstepping their boundaries in certain ways, you overlooked it. So the rubber band keeps stretching further and further and further away. So when you finally decide you've had enough and you want to cut them off and let them go, they let go of that rubber band, is going to hit you really hard. Like, you're going to really feel it, it's going to have an impact in your life. So when you first notice certain in your circle, you are in the middle of it. When you first notice something isn't right with somebody, it's better to just let them go so that it doesn't hurt, Otherwise,
That's right.
you let them stay, and it's like they keep pulling on you, and it's like for years. So now it's like, really, when you finally decide that, okay, you've had enough of it, it's going to sting, it's going to hurt. So you just figure out your life, figure out the people in your life, the ladies out there, figure out, like, take a tally, take a statistic, or, a chart, draw up a chart. What is this person's, like, figure out every person in your life, a friend, whatever. What is this person really, like, what is the role of this person in my life? What role is this person playing in my life? Are they like motivating me and motivated? Like, are they in my life to motivate me to, you have to figure these things out.
Yes.
And so that, not everybody's going to make it. You can't take everybody with you where you're going. Okay. So some people just have to be eliminated. It's like a Miss USA, or, a pageant. Some people have to be contestants, some candidates have to be eliminated. So it can only be a few, like the top 3 or whatever, that can make it. So look at your life that way, and just take stock of who's really wasting your time, and because you are the most important person in your life. You are in the middle of this circle. You got all these people pulling on your energy, pulling on your attention. This person wants this person called you and they deal with it, figure it out, you know, figure it out so that you can, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt when you, if you can cut them off early, like sooner, it won't hurt. But if you keep them around, then it's really gonna hurt, because then now you've formed emotional bonds with them and you've gotten to know them, and now it's really, really hard to, you know, let them go. So my next point is, do not be afraid to stand up for yourself. You are divine. You're always protected. Okay. Do not be afraid to stand up for yourself in any situation. Some situation you don't even have to respond. Okay. Some situations you don't even have to respond. Silence is golden. So your silence literally is like, it carries the weight of gold. So not everything you have to respond to, but other things you can respond to it. If it's in a safe environment, you can respond to it. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Even if you stutter, even if your voice shakes, stand up for yourself and walk away. Okay. So
Beautiful.
start doing that, because once you become your own best friend, are you going to watch your best friend be talked to anyhow? Are you going to watch your best friend be mistreated, disrespected in front of you? No. Do that for yourself. See, so stand up for yourself. If you are confronted in any type of disrespectful manner, stand up for yourself. You know what I mean? My next point is, so other people's words can hurt you if you give it value or power. Once you determine that someone's opinion about you has no value or doesn't matter, then it can't hurt you or affect you emotionally. So other people's words can't hurt you. Let me rephrase it. Other people's words can hurt you if you give it power or value. So you put somebody on a pedestal and they disrespect you, they call you all kinds of names, it's gonna hurt you. It's all you, okay? You're the one dishing out power to people. You're the one putting people on pedestals or making people feel important. Or it's all you. So once you look at a person and you're like, this person, like, you have to make that determination. This person, nothing that comes out of your mouth has any value. You have to make up your mind that this person cannot affect you. Their words cannot affect you. Their lives cannot affect you. You see? So nothing that they do can affect you. It's all you. You are the director of your life. So take charge. The director is the one that's telling the cameraman to move here and to do. The director is the one directing everything. So become the director of your own life and determine whose words are important and whose words are not. So that if they start yapping and they start gossiping and saying all kinds of stuff, you already declared to yourself that this person is of no value to me. So therefore, nothing they say, nothing that comes out of your mouth, so it's not going to affect you, because if somebody can get you emotionally, you know, as a female, most of us are emotional, you know, and if somebody can get you to become emotional, then they really got you, because your emotions, your emotions are a part of you. Certain people are moody all the time. They're in a bad mood. It's all your emotions taking turns, you know. Some days you're happy, some days you're sad. Your emotions are pretty much sometimes running your life. Really, they're really running the show. So people do all these things like gossiping and bullying and spreading all kinds of lies to get you emotionally, to get you where it will really hurt. It will really rock you, like at your core. Mm-hmm. So you have to determine that this person has no value to me. Therefore, anything that comes out of the person's mouth, no value. This person doesn't feed me. This person doesn't put clothes. This person doesn't give me nothing. So why do their words matter? Their words don't matter, because they don't even matter in my life like that, you know? So you can't let people's actions and words and stuff affect you. If you determine that it's not worth it, like they're not worth it, then so that's it. Then so be it. And everything afterwards, it won't matter. You just keep living your life like the Creator wants you to live. It's like, I you have to know these things. Like if you are somebody that's insecure, then every little thing somebody says to you is gonna affect you. It's really, you're not even gonna want to leave the house for a
Yes.
whole week. You see? So determine
Mm-hmm.
determine who has value in your life and who doesn't. This auntie never liked you. This auntie, she just doesn't speak any good. Just determine that she has no value in your life. She doesn't matter in your life. And so it will be that you have to constantly remind yourself, this person has no value to me. So why should I'm not going to care. We go back to the lion again, the lion, the lioness. These guys, they live in the savannah. They live in the jungle. All the animals, every animal they ran up to, it doesn't matter if it could be a snake, it could be whatever. It doesn't care. It's going to pull up and it's going to make sure that it takes the person out. Lion, they got to eat, right? That's how the creator created them to be. They don't care. They don't care who likes them, who doesn't like them, who's nothing. The zebra doesn't care. The zebra, the giraffe, it don't matter. The lion is always going to be the lion. Okay. No matter what other people say about it. It's not going to change. So you have to balance your emotions, because most of the time it's words, Yeah, people talk about how sticks and stones won't break my bones, but something, I can't remember the word. I don't know if you can remember it.
It shall never
It's
hurt
a
me.
popular saying.
Yeah, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names shall never hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's you just have to empower yourself. You don't get yourself to the point where you can pick and choose who is of importance to you and who is not. Like a total stranger that you met for a couple of months and they became your friend and they started showing their ugly side. They started gossiping about you. They created some fake beef with you just so that they can run off and gossip about you. That entity or person has no value at all.
That's right.
They've never been in your life from the beginning. They've never known your struggles. So what in the world is this? Like, this person means nothing, and nothing they say means it. Like, it has no value. Like empty words. If you roll a barrel, if you have a barrel and it's empty, you roll it downhill, it's going to make a lot of noise. It's going to make glue, 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 glue. It's going to make a lot of noise, right? But if you have a barrel that's full of water and you roll it down, you hardly even hear a sound. Okay. These people are empty. Their whole lives they're empty. They feel empowered when they do the mean girl stuff. They put it in the movies, the mean girls or the popular girls and all this, gossiping and gossip girls and all of this stuff. They make shows of it too. They made it popular. So that's what these people are. Empty. There's nothing in there. So they make a lot of noise. They talk a lot. It's just empty. Roll empty barrel down. You can test it. Could be an empty bottle, empty gallon of water. If you can do it, experiment on it. You see. But a barrel is better. A barrel it makes a lot of noise if it's empty. So all these people are really empty. They're trying to fill themselves up with trying to give themselves a sense of superiority over another person. So the only way they can do it is to talk, is to use their mouth to, bring somebody down instead of using that same mouth to empower somebody. No, they'd rather do the reverse. So you have to be a step ahead of, the kind of people in your life, the kind of people at your workplace, you know what I mean? So you figure out who has value, like who really is worth it, like who is worth listening to and who is not, and you make that decision in your mind. Cement it, like, you know what I mean, in your mind, like this, I don't even care, like, it don't matter what they say, but it will only matter if it can affect your money though. Gotta, because these people are really slippery. They'll say things, they'll make it, and then before you know it, the boss gets to hear about his supervisor, and these people are wicked. But just, just figure out that this person has value, this person's words has no value, and just go with it. So it doesn't affect you emotionally. It doesn't get you depressed. Okay, so my next point is learn things that help you. If you were never taught how to cook, then it will be beneficial to learn how to cook, watch cooking videos, Feel free to learn things that will help you take care of yourself now and in the future. See, so whatever you feel like you don't know, you want to be a carpenter, you want to be a mechanic, you want to be a truck driver, you want to be a whatever. You have to learn. Whatever you don't know, you have to learn, or do your best to become an autodidact. I believe that's the word. Where it's a self-taught person. That's what it is. Become a self-taught person. Teach yourself things. Learn things, So learn things that help you. If you've never gone camping before, watch camping videos. Learn things that will help you. It can only help. You're just adding more knowledge into your database, into your mind. You're only, you may forget about it. You may learn something and forget about it, but there may come a time where that skill may be needed, and you can do it because you've done it before. You can remember it at least and teach somebody how to do it, or tell somebody how they can do it. So then that makes you valuable in that company or in that group or whatever. If you don't know how to work computers, then watch computer videos. Harvard University, they have free online courses, free certificates. You actually get a certificate, so you can Google it. It could be engineering or whatever. You Google it, free Harvard certificate courses, and it will take you to the site. And it's like a video. You watch the instructor and everything else. And when you get to the end of the course, you have a certificate that you can actually print out. Okay. These are all resources for you, so look into it. Okay, my next point is never let your past define you. So rise above what tried to break you down. That's pretty self-explanatory. Never let your past define you, okay? Almost everybody has been there, okay? You know how your life has been. Don't let it define you. Who are you right now? That's who you are. Who you are right now is who you are, not your past. Okay, we're always moving forward. Our bodies is a reflection of that. Are you always driving, looking in the rearview mirror because you're gonna crash? If you're driving, you have to look forward. You're not looking at your rearview mirror 24/7 when you're driving. Okay. You may visit the past a little bit, because every now and then, if you're driving, you have to reverse, if you're trying to parallel park or whatever, sometimes you have to reverse. You have to look in the past a little bit, but keep on moving forward. Your past does not define you. Okay. These are all experiences, situations, and things you have to deal with. It's done. Move on. Okay. Moving on. Next point is surround yourself with positive people. For example, if you surround yourself with successful people, you too in turn will become successful. You become the people you surround yourself with the most. So because you start acting like them, you start behaving like them. You want to be successful, hang out with successful people. Okay. Some of these friends that we have, it depends. But if you're trying to get somewhere in life, some of these friendships do not work. It's not going to work. Okay. They're used to the old you. They're used to how you used to be. And they can't be that person. You're trying to be somebody else. You're trying to level up. And they're still stuck there, in the past. It's not going to be easy because they won't let you. So you just have to figure out a way, maybe motivate your friends and whatnot so you can all be on the same level, or try your best to surround yourself with the people that if I want to be a mechanic, I'm going to hang out around mechanics all the time. Okay. Because they're going to give me tips and they're going to give me some ideas and some, of how to be a mechanic. Because that's when I want to be an HVAC HVAC person, somebody who fixes air condition. I'm gonna hang around HVAC people. It's just the way it is. So your old friendships will not work if you're trying to level up, because they have to also want to be willing to level up with you. That's what I'm trying to say. So just surround yourself with the people. If you're trying to become something, you have to surround yourself with that thing that you're trying to be. You're trying to become an architect, you're trying to become whatever, you figure it out. An artist, you figure it out, you know? Okay, my next point is do your best to distance yourself from negative people. That's pretty self-explanatory. Misery loves company. Miserable people love to have people around them so they can spread their misery to them, okay? So distance yourself from negative people. If you're a positive person, be with positive people. If you're a negative person, then be with negative people. It's really simple. It's really simple. Nature does it all the time. You won't see the lion hanging out with the hyena, because that's his mortal enemy, actually. So you won't see that. You have to distance yourself from anything that's negative. If you're a kind person, why you hanging out with somebody that's mean to other people, somebody that's cruel to other people, somebody that's wicked to other people? If you are a respectable person, why you always hanging out with a racist, somebody that's racist to other people? You know, you got to distance yourself from them. You don't even have to explain yourself. Just distance yourself, because it's your life, you know? Okay, my next point is nobody is entitled to mistreat you in this life. Nobody, not even yourself. Nobody. Okay, I don't care what status what title they have. I don't care if they call themselves, I don't want to use certain words, but I don't care what they call themselves. They're your boss, they're your manager, I don't care who it is. Nobody's entitled to mistreat you in this life. Nobody. Not even yourself. Okay, my next point is never ever compare yourself to anybody out there. You are unique. You are once in a lifetime. You should never want to be somebody else. You don't know if the person you want to become comes from a family of thieves or worse, alcoholics. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to be somebody else when you are already you? It don't make sense, you know? Like, why we need to stop the compare. We really need to stop comparing ourselves to people. It's so crazy. I think the society is like this. The whole society is like this. You know, somebody driving a certain car, and you're driving a beat up car, you know, a car that needs brakes. You still haven't, you know, gotten a chance to fix your brakes, and somebody's driving a brand new car, 2024 car. You know, and you start comparing yourself to why? Like, what do you really achieve when you compare? Obviously, you know, they have a new car, you don't. So accept it. So you want to get a new car, then you have to get your credit right. You know, you have to do certain things for yourself, your life. There's no point in comparing. You comparing yourself to somebody else, but you don't know what the person had to do to get to what they, you know, the amount of abuse and the amount of whatever they had to fight through just to get to that level. Yeah, you want to say something.
Oh, level of compromise, you know, and that may be the only goal they had in their life, is to get that car, to get that home or mansion or whatever little thing it may be. And they may have done things that you wouldn't do. You know what I mean? So how are you going to envy somebody or feel like, well, I'm comparing myself to somebody, but they went out there and compromised themselves physically. You know what I mean? Between the lines, I won't say it on your show, but they've done things. And how good does it feel to have what they have if they know that they did things that you wouldn't do? So they can't flex on you. They can't, because they know they dip down low to get what they have. And it's not always the case, but you know, that's a whole topic unto itself. But with that, if a person's materialistic, but they have no sense, they have no knowledge, they're going to parade that around you. But if you're not into that, it's not effective on you. If a person feels that, well, I have a college education and I have all these degrees, and that's their thing they want to flex on you with, if you're not into that, it doesn't affect you, even if you were into it. So people play this game of throwing off on people, but they want to figure out if you're into the same thing. Then they start that foolishness. Because when you're oblivious to it, you know, I mean, I saw a guy walking down the street. I'm in West Africa, up in the mountains. He was a little impoverished. And he could care less if he had designer clothes on. But you go somewhere else, they want to worry about the designer clothes and the perfumes and all of this stuff. And they're stressing themselves. Don't take the stress of that person who is stressing themselves because they have some imaginary standard. I'm trying to chop all of those things down within myself. I don't have that superficial thing, but what little I have as far as anything connected to this world, I'm trying to chop it off so I can be free. You see? Mm-hmm. But go ahead. I went off the deep end.
No, you're right. You're right. The comparisons, like everybody comes from a different home, a different background, you know? Like for me, I've had a situation where I was at a grocery store. Like I was at a drive. It wasn't where grocery pickup where you just sit in your car and they just bring it to your car. So I was sitting in my car, and then there was this Caucasian man in another car. His car was like, I'm in a Jeep. His car is like bigger than mine because it's like, it was huge. You know, these GM cars are really big. So his car was like even higher. Like he had to look down to look through my window because I had to let my windows down to, you know, talk to whoever to confirm it so that they can put it in my car and whatnot. So this guy was at the corner. I was looking straight, but at the corner, you know, my peripheral, at corner of my eye, I could see a Caucasian man sitting in a bigger car, like a newer car. You could tell he was wealthy and everything. He's looking down, like he's looking at my window, and he's looking at me up and down, like he's rolling his eyes and everything. And I'm confused. I'm like, what? I don't even have a fraction of what you got. What? So you see that even somebody that has everything, you could be on a bicycle, man. Like you could be on a bicycle. It don't matter. Somebody in a car, you're in a bicycle, if you're walking, they're in a car, they're in a better situation, but they're still comparing like it's a disease. Ain't no way he probably could have been a director of something, or a company or something. And he's sitting there looking at me through my window, and just, it was weird. It was not even like, almost, I felt like the person was possessed or something. Because it was not like a man doing that. That was shocking to me because that was the very first time I actually experienced it. So you don't even have to have much. You know, in this life, you don't have to be wealthy. You got a lot of people in Beverly Hills and everything. They have it all, but they're missing something. And when you're just going about your life and whatnot, and they see you, it could be at a store, it could be wherever. It's crazy. That comparison thing is really crazy, but it happens because women, you know, society wants women to look a certain way. You know, you have to have a certain look. You know, so it's easy for us to compare, you know, ourselves with other women. It's very easy, but it defeats the purpose because you are unique, you're different from the other person. So it will never be. So why you know, I mean, if it's a material possession, you can get it if you, like I said, if you fix your credit, if you have a good credit. It's a material possession, you can get it. You can work your way to get it. But as far as like the physical, you know, appearance and stuff, it's pointless. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all to compare yourself to somebody else. We're all bound by genetics. Okay, genetics is what dictates what you're gonna look like, what your face is gonna be like, what your cheeks are gonna be, what your nose, whether your nose is gonna be flat, your nose is gonna be whatever. Your genetics. We're all bound by genetics. That's why they've been studying it so much. Your blood. I don't want to go there, but we're bound by genetics. So your genetics is unique to you, and that person's genetics is unique to that person. Okay. So comparing your genetics to somebody else's genetics, does that make sense? It's like, it's not gonna be like, it's never. Your genetics are what you inherited. You inherited your genetics, and that's what you're gonna have for the rest of your life. So you have to really fall in love with your genetics. Okay, fall in love with your genes, what you are, what you inherited. Okay, that's it. Let's really stop this comparison thing, because let's stop this comparison, because you are always whatever position you're in right now. Somebody is in a hospital or in a different situation, hoping and wishing that they could be in the situation you're in. They could have the life you have. You may not have. You could be living in Section 8. You could not have anything at all, right? You could have no, you can consider, a person could consider themselves as, being impoverished or whatever. But there's somebody somewhere that wishes that they were in that position that you're in. Okay. We're all in different stages. It don't make sense to compare yourself, because where you're comparing yourself to somebody else, you never know, in a year or two, you will be in that position that person is in. So you just got to keep working at it. But comparison is a killer. It really, because it stops you in your tracks. It stops you from, now you put all your attention on somebody else, and the person is living their lives or whatever, and then you are still focused on, when you could just be focusing on yourself. Why are you comparing yourself? Like your physical appearance. It don't make sense, because it's only unique to you. So never ever compare yourself to anybody else. It serves no purpose in this world, and it serves no purpose. Okay, somebody, let's say Mike Tyson. Okay, let's say somebody is a bodybuilder, and they admire Mike Tyson. They really want to be you. Can never be him. He's him, and you are you. So work with what you what I mean. It makes no sense to compare yourself, trying to just do what you love, do what you want. But this comparison thing has to stop, because we're all individuals.
Yes.
The grapefruit is never going to be an orange. Okay. It don't matter. You can mix, try to do those little, what is it? Those magic tricks where you move the orange around, and you move things around, or you put a cup over it and you take it. You could do whatever. Orange is going to remain an orange. Nature shows this to us. The cheater is a fast runner. Okay, out of all the cat, the cheater runs up to 80 miles per hour. That cat, the cheater. At what point, why would any of the animals in the jungle compare? It won't make sense. It has its unique genetics. It's how it was created, and that's how it has to move. Everybody is unique that way. Why am I comparing if I'm a lion, why am I comparing myself to a cheetah? Why am I comparing myself to a rhino or whatever? If I'm an elephant, why am I comparing myself to a rhino or whatever they got over there? It don't make sense to compare. It really don't. We're all unique. Your looks are your looks. Work with what you got. Work it. Make it work for you. If you drink a lot of water, your skin will be so clear. Drink coconut water. I'm not talking about the coconut water in the cans. I'm talking about getting a coconut and actually cracking it open and drinking the water, just staying hydrated, your skin is going to be so clear. It will be so clear. Putting the right oils on it. In the wintertime, our skin can easily get ashy. Get you your shea butter, get you your oils, your body oils and whatnot, and get your skin right. Like, you work with what you got. That's what I'm trying to say. Really, really work with what you got. These are your genetics. This is what your ancestors, your great ancestors, they passed it on to you. Okay, they had it too. Some of them had those features too. Some of them had, a wide nose or ears, like big ears, and what. Work with what you got. It's yours now. Work with what you got. What if you compare yourself to somebody else? It's not going to change your situation. Your genetics are not going to change because you compare yourself to Beyonce. No. You're looking up to you. Always you're getting the right. Even if you wear Beyonce's, like, let's say Beyonce wears a certain outfit to the red carpet or whatever, and you go and you find the same outfit, and then you wear, you know what I mean? You wear all this. You wear the same makeup. You put on the same wig she had and whatnot. Weave. You would never be her, because she's bound by her genetics and you're bound by your genetics. So you got to work with what you got. Okay, so I'm done with that part. I'm done with ranting, because I was never told this too. Because I've been there. Everything I'm talking about, I've experienced, and it's just one experience I had was in Whole Foods. I was at Whole Foods this was years ago, and I was standing by the candles, right? Picking up candles and just trying to figure out which candle I wanted to buy. And this light-skinned girl, about my height, she was standing by the aisle. There's this section where they sell yogurt, where they had yogurt on the shelves and whatnot. So she was standing there looking at the yogurt. She was, paying. She wasn't even paying me no mind. Like, she didn't even know I was standing there. But I was standing looking at her, and I remember I said in my head, man, I wish I was like her. And then instantly, like immediately, it's like another thought came to my head. You can never be like her. Like a thought just came into my head, my mind. Immediately, I thought that, I was like, I didn't say it out loud. I was thinking in my head. I was like, man, I wish I was like her. And then this other thought out of nowhere, it came into my mind, like, but you are not her, or you can never be like her, something like that. But you can never be like her because you are you, and that really kind of put me back in my place, and ever since then, I've never compared myself to nobody. Ever since that experience, I guess some of us are more like, we all have different gifts, so some of us are more like in tune with certain things. Like I've had, I don't want to go in too much detail, but I just wanted to give that example. Everything I'm talking about, it was never taught to me. I had to experience it in one way or another and figure out the solution. Okay, the lesson here is to never compare myself to somebody else because I'm unique and I just got to work with what I am and what I have, So my next point, you wanted to add anything to it, or you already did, but.
Oh no, I'm flowing with you. I'm good.
Awesome. Okay. So my next point is, if you are born into poverty, read your way out of poverty. Read books. If you're born into poverty, the library has like how to get not how to get rich, but like how to invest, how to this, how to that. All those books are in the library. Read. Okay. If you feel like your situation, you are on a certain, if you feel like your situation is not improving, your finances are not improving, read. It could be like, you could just get a book from a library or wherever, thrift store or like Goodwill, anywhere. You get a book and you could even read like a couple of pages right before you go to bed, If you just read a page a day or something, 2 pages a day, read your way out of poverty, read your way out of diabetes, read your way out of, if you have any issue and you feeling like you've been taking this medication for a long time, you're not seeing any improvement. You've been working at this job for a long time, minimum wage, you're not seeing any improvement. Get a book. Get a book that talks about your situation. And I'm telling you, you're bound to find a paragraph or a sentence that is so profound that can help you, you know what I mean? It can unlock certain things, because I don't want to drag this. Our minds are like, it's something they call in science neural pathways. Neural pathways, like it's like how like they put it in sometimes they show it in these like online, how it's like the World Wide Web, how one line connects to another line and another line connects to, these are all like connected, pathways. So there's a certain pathway in your brain, right? It's ended. That's where it ends. That's where the pathway ends. So when you get new information, now it unlocks, like it creates new ideas, new possibilities. Do you see new experiences, new ideas? It opens up and creates new neural pathways in your mind, new possibilities in your mind. So it can unlock certain blockages in your mind. Some people feel like they can never beat something. They can never beat this. Oh, I can never beat this. It's a blockage. If you had the right information, you would know that you could actually do it. You can actually do it. Like you can. But because you don't have a certain information, you sitting there thinking, oh, I can never do this, or I can never, I used to tell myself that I could, the YouTube thing, this is funny, actually. It's funny for me, but I used to tell myself I could never do it. I would watch YouTube videos, people sit in front of, just talking on YouTube and whatnot. You don't even have to show their face. They're just talking. I used to tell myself I could never do this.
Well, look at you now.
I know it's weird, right? It's not weird, but it's like these mind blocks, these blockages. We the things we tell ourselves, Lance. It's crazy. Like we can sometimes hold ourselves back because of our thoughts alone. And all we're missing is some information. See, the people at the top, the rich people, the difference between a rich person and a poor person, I know you already know this. Difference between a poor person and a rich person is information, knowledge.
Right.
There's something the rich person knows about, maybe time management or about investment, or about stocks, something the rich person knows. They could have passed on wealth. Wealth can be passed on to you. But if you don't have certain information, you could lose it all. You could spend it all. You know what I mean? You splurge and right. You could spend it all. So there's a certain information or knowledge that these really wealthy people have that helps them maintain the wealth they have and helps them maintain being at the top. You see, it's all information. That's the only difference between let's say, you can apply it to anything. You can apply it. I'm trying to figure out examples for this, but like a pilot and a passenger, the pilot can the pilot can fly that plane because of what he knows, because of what he learned. Okay. He had to go to school. He had to learn, take exams, take quizzes, all kinds of things, practice, do all kinds. He knows this stuff now. His mind it's in his mind. It has also unlocked several possibilities. Even from there, he doesn't even have to remain a pilot. There's different ways he could go. He could be a pilot instructor. He could be, you know what I mean? So it's what you know that will, what you know is what will get you out of poverty. What you know is what will get you out of, that situation. If I know a certain herb, helps with mucus on the body. I know a certain herb. I'm never gonna be like sitting there feeling like, oh my gosh, there's no solution for this. I'm gonna have, I'm gonna have this mucus forever. No, because I have the knowledge that this particular herb or this particular medicine or
Yes.
Robitussin or whatever, I know I have knowledge, so I'm gonna use it to alleviate, and I'm not gonna keep myself stuck. So it's either mind. If you can read, it can be 1 page a day, family. 1 page a day, half a page. You can read half a page, don't matter. Right before you go to sleep, right after when you first wake up in the morning, you just grab the book and you read. You can do whatever. There's going to be something in that book that's going to stick to you, that's going to help you unlock certain blocks to poverty and all these things. The solution can be in a book. You pass by that bookstore all the time though, So if you're born into poverty, it don't matter where you are in the world. Read your way out. If you're born into cancer, a family that, has cancer, if you're born into something, I'm telling you, there's a book out there that can help you. There's a lecture out there. There's a video out there that can help you unlock certain things. So I'm moving on. So this one, I think I already said it earlier because I took a lot of notes. I already said this, but I can repeat it too. Drink water often. Like I said it earlier. Drink water often throughout the day. Water helps with your skin. It helps with your internal organs, and everything. So if you are dehydrated, it's a problem. I think you said something earlier before, like a long time ago. I don't know if you can repeat it. Like you said if you get thirsty,
Mm-hmm.
then you are dehydrated or something.
Well, you're already dehydrated by the time you can tell that you're thirsty. That's a fact. And you have to kind of not overhydrate, but when you feel that saturation, keep topping it off. We're more easy to want to top off the gas tank than we do with our thirst, and with real water. Not just, okay, I'm going to drink some soda that's liquid, but the soda dehydrates you and stresses your kidneys. So you have to top it off and understand you have to keep saturating, because when your tissues get dry, okay, put it this way, let's compare it. Say, for example, like right now in Ghana, it's the dry season, but we had a really good rain yesterday and it saturated the soil. But that one rain could not saturate the soil as deep as if it rained. Say, I think it rained for an hour and a half, but it looked good to the soil. But what if we had 10 minutes of intense rain every day? Because that rain yesterday, it hadn't rained in maybe like a whole month. See what I mean? So when you saturate, you don't have to drink a lot. Like when you get real thirsty, you want to drink a lot. If you notice, when you drink a whole lot, when you're real thirsty, it's not long before you're thirsty again, because your tissues are not saturated. So the best way is just keep saturating. Once you're full and when you're thirsty, don't hog down the water. Drink a little bit, back off. You're still thirsty, drink a little more, and saturate. Keep yourself topped off. Don't wait to get thirsty. Keep sipping. You'll be better off.
Awesome. And that closes that one point. Awesome. Perfectly. So my next point is eliminate fear from your mind. Anything that has fear over you, anything that you fear, I butchered that. Anything that you fear has power over you. Okay. If you fear a dog, that dog is not more powerful than you. Okay. Like if they say it in a lot of safaris and a lot of, these, if you travel out to the zoo, maybe not to the zoo, but it just the safaris, like, if you go on a safari, especially if you're in South Africa and all those places, and they have big reserves for animals and stuff. And they even tell you that if you come face to face with a lion, you have to look at it in the eye. You have to look at it in the eye. Don't turn your back on, never turn your back on a lion. Never turn your back on a tiger. You have to let it know you see it and it sees you. You know what I mean? You have to face it. even though it's fear is, I mean, even though you fear it and it's scary, you have to face it. Like you have to literally look into his eyes, and it has to look into yours. Okay, like even if you're in the face of a lion, they tell you to look at it face to face. Like stand there and look at it face to face. Do not turn your back on it. So you see, you have to face your fear. You have to face your fear. Anything, like, think about it. We're all gonna, I don't want to use that word because nobody likes to think about, but it's like there's stages in life, you know? So it's, you know that you're the spirit or you're the soul, right? The soul is eternal. The soul never dies. So you're just using the physical body. So why, I mean, what is there to fear? You don't die. But even deeper, if we go into deeper, like, I guess we fear because sometimes we have fears because of things we can lose, or, you know, certain things that we may not be able to come back from, you know. I get it, but it's like, if it's just like something, if it's not like, if it's another person, or, you know, a job, like it, you know, if it's just something of this world, like something materialistic, you know, lose that fear. If you lose it, you can get it back again. Okay, you can save money and get it back again. Those types of fears, lose them. Like the laws of like, if I don't know, like maybe a certain backpack, I don't know, like just little things that we value so much, you know, and we fear that we may lose, like sometimes loved ones too. But it's like, figure out why do you have that fear? Like, especially fear of animals. I know almost a lot of people fear snakes, a lot of people fear spiders, a lot of people, I know that, but like, you have to figure out a way around it. See, because I think you said about your friend, right? That you both grew up looking at insects and stuff like that. So
Yes.
such a friend, he's never gonna have any fear of insects ever, because he's used to it. He's familiarized himself with it for years since he's never, you know, for me, I grew up with 11 dogs when I was coming up. I grew up, we had like 5 dogs, and one of them had a bunch of puppies, and we didn't want to give any of those away. We kept all those 5 puppies. So we ended up with 11 dogs.
Wow.
And this was my childhood. And I was always outside playing with them. I was always outside playing with them, always coming around, and I was just petting them, and it was really fun. And that's actually feeding them as well. So there is no dog in this world that I fear. Okay, now there's the different types of like exotic breeds that are bred, like not the greyhound, the German Shepherd. Okay, those like types of dogs that are bred for like to be really aggressive. I'm not afraid of it, but I'm not gonna get close to it, you know, like a pit bull and all those. No, I'm not afraid of it, but I won't get close to it. But a Chihuahua, or like, you know how they talk about certain like mailman, they can't deliver the mail because of a little dog on behind the fence. Like, I mean, it's behind the fence, like, and it's little, but they can still bite though, those ankle biters. But like, I'm just saying, like, for me, because I was around it, I'm not afraid of it. A dog is the one thing in this world I'm not afraid of, unless, now there's exceptions, you know, unless it was, you know, raised to be like aggressive, I won't go near it, but I'm not afraid of it. I just won't go near it because, you know, you have to apply common sense, you know. If it's dangerous, it's hazardous, it's whatever, you know, you don't go near it. It's common sense. But yeah, if it's a dog, I'm not afraid of it. But if it's something else, so we have to figure, you know, as a person, you know what your fears are. If you fear spiders, you fear snakes, you have to try your best to familiarize yourself with it. Maybe watch videos about that specific animal, become familiar with it. get to understand how the get to understand how it moves and how it lives and everything else, so you can minimize that fear. Because I'm telling you, sometimes fear can paralyze a person.
Yes.
It can freeze you in place. Like it's crazy. Fear is really powerful. So as a woman, you walking around with so many fear, you fear this, you fear that, like really that's detrimental. That's not really good for you as a young woman, as a young lady. And you're afraid of this, you're afraid of that, you're afraid of so many things. Why don't you like learn it? Like you can watch educational videos, you can watch documentaries, documentaries. They have books, like even like if you go to a library, you can pick up a children's book. Just start from the basic about a certain animal. Usually they put animals in little children's books, right? The sounds they make and all that stuff. So try to familiarize yourself with the animal that you're afraid of, so that you have better knowledge. So now, like for a snake, when it's like the minute a snake sees you, it no longer has power. The minute a snake sees that you see it, it has no power. A snake cannot be seen. Okay, they have to be hidden. A predator, that's a predator. Predators do not want to be seen. That's like a lion and a tiger and all these other. They cannot be seen. They prowl. They're sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be seen because they want to have the advantage all the time. They want to be the one with the advantage. They see you. You are unsuspecting. You're just going about your life and you're just walking up, and they see you. They have their eyes on you. They have the upper hand. They have the advantage. The minute you see the predator, it loses. It doesn't have any. It doesn't have any more the element of surprise. It doesn't have that anymore. See, so even a snake, once it sees that you see it, it's like, oh snap. It will sometimes run away. It will literally sometimes run away from you when it sees that you see it. It depends on how big it is or how small it is, but the little ones really just run away from you. The rattlesnake, I know we're talking about a different subject here, but the rattlesnake, it will, when it sees you and it knows that you haven't seen it, it will make the rattle sound. It will make that rattle, the rattlesnake sound, the sound to warn you. It's actually warning you that it's there, it's around. It's actually doing it to warn you to get away. You see? So these are things you have to learn. Lose that fear. Because whatever you fear has power over you. You fear the police, then they have power over you. Okay? Every time you see that your heart starts beating fast, how is that helping? How is that's affecting your health? That's literally the presence of another being is affecting your health. So you have to figure out a way to lose that fear. Figure out a way to lose your fear. It doesn't help you. Whatever doesn't help you, just lose it. Learn more about it, because the lack of knowledge is why we perish. So gain more knowledge on whatever it is that you fear. Know your rights. If you don't know your rights and what your amendments and your rights, and maybe start watching videos so you lose that, you minimize that fear a little bit. You know how to, if they ever pull you over or whatever, you just relax. You're not bothered because you know something. You have knowledge of how things are supposed to be when they pull you over. There are videos on this stuff now.
Yes, it's empowering.
But a lot of, oh, you're going to say something.
No, I just said that those videos are very empowering, because lots of times the police will try to bluff you, assuming that you don't know what your rights are and what you can do and can't do,
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people have fear, different types of fears. Fear of this, fear of it. They have phobia. They call it a phobia. I mean, even like fear of relationships. Okay, it's a fear. There's a fear of relationships. There's a fear of intimacy. There's so many fears out there. That's what I'm saying. Lose the fear, like eliminate it. just, you can even take a paper. If you have free time, take a paper and a pen. List the fear that you have. Write it down. You can write fear of fear of spoons or whatever, and whatever fear you got, you can write it. You write your fear, and then ask yourself why. Right? Why do I have this fear? Just really sit down and think about it. Why do I have this fear? Okay, so once you figured out why you have it, okay, maybe you got bit by a dog when you were a little child, so you fear dogs. Okay, then now you figure out, maybe, do I need therapy? Do I need, like, figure out the solution. What solutions for somebody that has this type of fear? You can Google this stuff. The answers are all there. There's no way you should be living in fear year after year. You are the only one who knows your fears, Right. But yeah, I've had a lot of fears. Everything I'm saying, Lance, I have a lot of fears, and I've worked through them. I've worked through a lot of them. I take the time to watch certain videos to really educate myself. Sometimes lack of education too, can cause us to hold on to certain fears, Sometimes one psychology video can really open up your mind, and you just be sitting there like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was afraid of this. Like this, this is this and this and this and that. The whatever. This animal actually runs away from you when it sees you, and I'm sitting here afraid of it. So you figure out, you have to learn, learn whatever it is that you get to know it. You fear snakes, watch snake documentaries, BBC, PBS. These YouTube channels have a lot of documentaries on a lot of things, so you can learn more, so that it can diminish that fear, so that it get to the point where you don't even fear it anymore, But so moving on. So let me see. I think I've talked about certain things. Okay, I'm going to talk about this one. Learn to say no. No is a full sentence, just like yes is. So somebody asks you a question and you say yes, it's a complete sentence, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, the word no is also a complete sentence. Learn to say no. Just like it's easy to, just like you've been saying yes, learn to say no. If certain things don't align with, like, certain things don't really make sense to you, you don't feel like you're not in the mood to do certain things or to indulge certain, just say no. In certain things, just say no.
Right. Somebody's
inviting you to a party at their cousin's house at a certain time of the night. No. Just say no. Sometimes you'll be surprised, like you would save yourself so much headache just by saying no, just by using that one word. But a lot of us, we were made into people pleasers. We have to please people. We have to always say yes to people. We have to always smile, and we always have to accommodate other people, and never really taking account of what we want. You say no. You don't even have to explain anything. Oh, I'm not feeling well. Oh, I have some. Just say no. I mean, if it's your friend that you're used to and whatnot,
right,
just say no. But sometimes if it's somebody else, just to be polite, you can say, oh, it's gonna be a no for me. It's gonna be a pass for me because I have something come up and whatnot with family. Just you can, right. If it's somebody that like on a professional level, you can add a little bit to it. But if it's a friend or just somebody, just say no. Just tell them no. But if it's somebody you've always said yes to, if you tell them no, they're not going to like it. They're going to have a hard time with it. Yeah. You're going to say something, Lance? You're going to add to it?
Especially with young ladies and men who try to pressure them into dates or doing things that they don't want to do. Again, it goes back to that wanting to accommodate and wanting to please. I'm not saying every woman's like that, or they're soft, or they're just, but People can be forceful when they want something out of you, and they're going to keep on going. They're going to keep on going until you give in. And if you don't feel right about it, like you said, you have the right to say no at the end of the day. And they'll keep pushing and then get an attitude when you stand your ground. You have the right to do so. And especially with young ladies who are around the company of men who are trying to coerce them into atmospheres which disarm them. You know, you don't have to accommodate that. You don't have to give into that. Even though you know they're trying to lead you in one way or whatever, and they might hopefully nothing. This ain't happening. Say it. You have the right to feel comfortable all the time.
Yes.
How dare they? Try to take you out of where you're trying to go. If you're walking somewhere together in life, whether it's walking down the street or you have the same interests, that's up to you. But for somebody to come and completely turn your life around, your day around, inconsiderate of you, no. This is what you have a mission of what you have to do for the day. You got to get that done for the day. Well, come on, you can do that another day. Really? Are you going to be around when I'm trying to make this work up or do what I'm supposed to do right now? This must be done. Work first, get this stuff done first, and then if I choose to, I'll let you know. Always speak from a place of power.
Yeah. Yeah, Lance, you spoke. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Especially if they've been buying you gifts, and then now they want something back in return, and you say no.
Right. And in that situation, you have to let them know, like, I really appreciate the gesture, and I really appreciate you purchasing me this gift, but I hope it comes with pure intentions, because my life I'm going to live in a pure way. You know what I mean? So you don't have to say, well, I know why you're trying to buy. You didn't just say, no, listen, I appreciate it. I hope it comes with pure intentions, because the way I choose to live my life and the standard that I have, I'm not going to break that. I'm not going to compromise. I can't be bought. I'm not saying you're trying to buy me, but early on, let's just get straight. And you'll see if they continue to buy gifts or not and reveal themselves, But that's how that you're going to feel obligated now when you want to put his hands on you, among other things, that will output you. You can't be bought. And even before the gift buying begins, even if you have to make up situations that never happened, in your conversation, let them know to stop it in its tracks. It's like, even before they buy the gift, they say, listen, I really appreciate the time you spent, because, I spent time, not even on a date, with another person, another man who started to buy me so much stuff, and he felt obligated, but he didn't want to spend any time with me. He wanted something out of me. You see what I mean? And I appreciate the fact that you're having a conversation with me, and it appears as though your intentions are pure, because I'm going to remain pure until the time that I get with somebody who I can commit to. So if he's full of fun and games, he say, oh, I guess I ain't gonna waste my money trying to spend money on her to get something that I want that she doesn't want to give. You got to communicate these things early and set boundaries early, and do it. You don't have to do it in an angry way, because you can do it in a coy way. I mean, use the tactics of the coy women who are out there trying to get something out of some man, but you do it in a righteous way. Communicate. And it's fine where you watch the movie together and it's a situation that empowers you. You say, hey, listen, she reminds me of myself. If it's a woman who did something in an empowering way to protect her integrity, so to say. You see? It's got to be that way. Never compromise yourself. You can't be bought.
Yeah.
That's right.
You have to say no. You have to know your worth. You say no. Because saying yes can cause you to get pregnant. Saying no, can it can prevent a lot of things, because most of the time you don't even know this guy. You haven't known him for a long time, and he's trying to impress you. He's trying to get you things, and Valentine's Day is coming next month, February. Okay, these things are gonna happen if you have a guy that has a crush on you. learn to say no. If you really don't feel comfortable, say no. Because really and truly, you have to get to know somebody really, really well. Because a lot of narcissists out there, a lot of predators out there, a lot of people carrying a lot of diseases. Certain
Yep.
diseases have no cure. It's just really unfortunate. This life, but just if you're not comfortable with any situation, just say no. No, and then you can back it up with, an explanation if you want to, but just stand your ground, because the last thing anybody wants is for somebody to just enter your life and just mess it up for you for the rest of your life.
Oh man.
And you are so young,
Yeah.
So
Snatch so many years away from your life. And, once a child is here, there's no turning back. And for a few moments of I'm not even saying pleasure from the woman's side, but just giving in because she was purchased. She was wined and dined. And I guess I will give him a little attention, right? But lots of times after you give him that attention, he's not giving you nor the child any attention. And then what? You're pushing a stroller down the street, trying to catch the bus. You got bags on your shoulders, trying to get to the daycare. Didn't wipe the stuff out the corner of your eye. You got to pee, but you got to go now, drop your child off. And you got to get back on the bus to get to the job. And you fall asleep on the bus and miss your stop. I've seen it. Didn't have to know all of it. I've seen it even play out. I've seen situations where on the bus, I've seen a man pursue a young lady. And she was resistant. Yeah. And after a while, you see them walking down the street. Everything's all right. You don't see him for a while. And a year later, there's a young baby in a stroller, and he's behind her arguing. Like she's why his life is messed up. Then you don't see him anymore. And you see her, that baby, struggling, and you don't see him ever again. Not in every case. You see some good situations, but chances are why? When those decisions will affect your next 20 years, not even 18 years, because things are bad now. People are moving out of the houses when they get to a certain age to be independent. They have to turn right around and come right on back. You see what I mean? So it's not to demonize men, no, but protocol. Certain things have got to be done in a proper way. Those are the things and those guidelines, and the things that you're sharing today will save a lot of frustration and lost decades. Imagine 20 years, 18 they say. But who really leaves at 18 fully independent in this economy, in this world, right? And if you have nothing to convey to your child, because you were a child when you had a child, doesn't matter if you're 18, I'm legal now, but look, 4 years ago you're 14, now you're 18. You're not the same as when you're 22, 30, 35. But see, we feel empowered to make decisions on our own, and we want to roll with the person who's giving us attention because we had none from before. And it feels good that this guy's telling me this stuff, but you kind of know he's lying, but it feels good. Yeah. See what I mean? It's like that man who goes with the woman, and they go behind closed doors, and he kind of senses she's fast, or he really knows she's fast, but it feels so good, so they don't wear any protection. Right? And then he gets a disease that knocks him off. I've known a lot of guys like that. Man, I'm HIV positive. I'm not making fun of them, but they've told me, I've had that conversation with people. I can't count on all my toes and all my fingers and a whole auditorium toes and fingers the amount of people that died because of diseases. You see what I mean? Yeah. So this empowering information that you're given, it's made for this world because, back in my day, coming up in my time, because let's just pick on HIV, 83, I was 20. I was right in the middle of it, right? But still, I remember a time when you didn't have to worry about those things, but now you do. Then you have the drug usage, and we don't understand the spiritual repercussions. When you lay down with somebody, you're laying down with everybody they lay down with, physically and spiritually, and it opens up a door for demonic activity. It's so much. It's a high price for sex. It feels good. It feels so good. but it's a responsibility and a price to pay for it. And it's so hard to stay away from it because it feels so good in the attraction. We are made this way to be attracted to the opposite sex. Don't let them manipulate your attraction in their favor so they can hit it and quit it.
Yeah. Yep. You spot on, Lance, like always. Perfectly too. All this could have been avoided if the person just said no. That's it.
And
no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not. No, I'm not going. I'm not into that.
Right.
No, I'm. Just no. That's
Right.
it. Let that be your boundary. Actually, you can practice it in the mirror. If you've been raised to be a people pleaser, like always pleasing people and always, you can, and you've never said no. You've never had to say no. The first few times you say it, your voice is probably gonna shake a little bit. But after saying it a couple of times, it's just gonna be, what is it? Like second nature. Just say no. You can practice it in the mirror if you want to. But this one word can save you years and decades of like some situations, like just by saying no. Like Lance have explained this in detail. Like he actually has seen this before. Somebody just walks into another person's life and sweet talks her or vice versa, and then the end result is something that both of them are not happy about. And all this could have been avoided if one person just said no and just walked away. So learn to say no, ladies. Let that be your boundary. Let it be one of your priorities. If something doesn't feel right, if you have to second guess, a situation or a person, if it just doesn't sit well with you, your gut feeling, your instincts, everything is screaming at you, like just say no and get it away from you. Just say no, because he has already gone into details. So I'm not gonna, explain any further, but just learn how to say no. Yes is a complete sentence. The word yes is a complete sentence. If somebody, hey, do you wanna go to the movies? And you say yes. You want to go to the movies tomorrow night? Yes. It's a complete sentence, okay? He's not going to ask for an explanation or anything because it's a complete sentence. No is the same way. You want to go out to the movies tomorrow and a Friday night? No. That's it. It's a complete sentence. Just end it. If they don't like it, then you're looking out for yourself, because like he explained in the earlier, it's so many situations that can spring out of just you not putting yourself first and you thinking you have to please the person, or you have to be, and especially too, Lance, certain people after the first date, like they want to actually have sex on the first date, like after going out on a date. Like, really? That's crazy. Like the first date, they want to, like after, like whatever, if it's it's crazy. Like on that same, you just got to say no. Just say no. The first date, even the second date. Like, my gosh,
don't even go out with
it's a certain rule, right? There's a certain amount of days, like there's a certain rule, isn't there?
Right. That can be adjusted, but the longer the better. The longer you wait, the better. Because you have guys who out here who, this is a trick that many men do. Like when they really show interest in you, and they do put you several steps above anybody else that they've known. But you'll say, yeah, we're going to do this right. I'm going to remain faithful. I'm going to wait for you, whatever. But they're steady getting it somewhere else and playing like they're faithful. And you're saying, oh, he's such a good guy because he didn't touch me the wrong way. We were in the kitchen pretty close. His elbow touched my breast, but he apologized for that. He's such a good guy. And he's nailing everything in town. He couldn't even come to a gunfight if you invited him to, because he has no bullets in the gun. They're all shot. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of deception out here that saying no and making sure because a person who's not sincere will reveal themselves after time. They're not going to say, "I'm revealing myself," but if you watch their movement, you watch their rhythm. It's like a boxer fighting another boxer, and after the first round, measures his rhythm, and he knows every time you throw that left jab, you come with a right cross. So I'm going to time you. I'm going to even bait you by putting my chin out there a little bit, so you can want to throw that right cross. Bing, and I got you before you even throw the punch. You see what I mean? You got to be shrewd these days, because these are some sophisticated demons out here. Demons were more stupid back in the day, but there's so many more ways. People are hip to what's going on, so they're more sophisticated, you know? And we got to keep up with that.
You got married men approaching like teenage girls, and he's married and everything, but he's because he wants a younger girl or whatever. All kinds of situations, but you have to learn how to say no. Okay, he may not. If the person, you don't worry about whether the person likes your response or not. That's none of your business. That's on them.
Right.
You just have to say no and be firm about it. And make sure that if you have to meet with somebody, it's like it's not in an alleyway or something. It's not like it's well lit. Wherever you are, it has like you have street lights, or wherever you have to meet. Yeah, it's a crowded place where there's a bunch of people around as well. Just make sure you are in safe situations at all times, and learn how to say no. Say no on the phone if they're not happy about it, and then just block their number. You would save yourself. So if only we knew. We can't see into the future like that, If you could see somebody, and immediately like you could get like flashes, like flashback or whatever, or like you could get like some type of premonition, or like some type of like insight of what just dealing with that person is going to lead to. You wouldn't even glance at the person's direction, like when you see them coming. You just go. But because we don't know what the future holds, we entertain them, we listen to what they have to say, we buy into it, but it really, you could just say no and just squash everything. Just get it. Yeah. You save yourself.
And also know that these entities can play to what you think you want. They'll put up a facade. They can test you to see what it is that you like in a man, what it is that you want, and they will become that to get you in a certain position of where they want to get you. So sometimes our own thoughts, our own desires, our own projections can do us in, you see? Because we have this image of when I meet the right guy. Now, don't sound by me. I'm not saying when I meet the right guy. It's a woman saying it, right? Somebody might play it. I've had that done to me too. But they may say, when I meet the right guy, and they'll tell the guy, and the guy, okay, but you okay. All right, I'll be that. And they'll brag about how they got through, if you know what I mean. Call up their friends and me, yeah, man, I cracked that lock. I cracked that code. I got the code for that. I'm almost there. It's like a notch on the belt. You're somebody's daughter. You're somebody's sister. You're somebody's family. And you're just another notch on the belt of a lot of these guys. And assume that more than anything else. Don't just give your trust. They have to earn it over time, and you still watch them. They still have to get the evaluation, not like a job where it's a yearly evaluation. Every 3 months you watch them, watch their movements. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do a show on man tricks, insincere man tricks, things they do. It's deep.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it's a marriage proposal, like if you're not ready for it, say no. Okay. Like, just learn how to say no. Learn how to say no. Because you will save yourself so much if you say no. Learn how to say no. It protects you. That word no, it protects you, believe it or not. It really does. Because certain people, they come for specific reasons, like, and you don't know because you can read their minds, right? So as young women, this is like a powerful tool. The word no is a powerful tool. And you could also get these, what do they call them? Like like these little, it's a keychain. These alarm, these little, trying to remember the name of it. It's like a little alarm. It usually goes on a keychain. If you feel like you're in danger, you feel like the person, you said no to them and they're getting like
Right.
angry and upset and they're starting to get physical with you, you can hit it. Like if you feel like you're in danger, you can have those things on you. It doesn't really cost
Right.
much. I think, where can you find that? What is it
I
called?
know. Like a personal alarm or something. I mean,
Yeah, a personal safety emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think you can get that online, maybe.
Oh, of course, if you do
Pepper
the right
spray. Yeah.
and with
Yeah,
the
I think
pepper
you can
spray,
get it. Oh,
if
what
you
did you
know
say?
if you know someone who's in law enforcement, get it from them. Like when they buy it, or not all police buy it for themselves to keep. They have guns, right? They have corrections and have, at the police and military stores where you have to be law enforcement to get this stuff, because the pepper spray that you buy in the store or you order it in general, it's not as powerful as what law enforcement has. It has more of the pepper. We call it yakima, whatever they call it. More concentration. It's stronger. So if you can get it from somebody like a cop or a corrections officer or some female who works in the facility, they can get it also. Say, hey, listen, I need to protect myself. I want to get something more powerful, because there's a lot of guys out there that have been sprayed with pepper spray that knows what it's like. They've been sprayed with the law enforcement variety. Street stuff that you get in the store. Oh my, oh look, there's pepper spray on sale. That's not going to do anything. It could, but it's not really the concentration you want. Because I've been sprayed with it in the academy, and that stuff stings. And we still had to fight another person, like to take them down in the wet rain or whatever. Like they put you in those situations, and some guys are used to that. Some of these guys out the street, you'll spray them and they'll laugh at you. Just a side note.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. This is really intense. Yeah. But these are all like, because if you are a young woman, I mean, your physical strength is not really there. You're strong, but you have to get these extra things too, just to protect yourself. So we've pretty much covered this no part like extensively. So moving on. My next point is, I think he already said it too. I think Lance already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Before you get into a relationship, make sure you know the other person's childhood, how their childhood was like. Was there a lot of trauma? Did they get molested? You have to know these things. They have to be able to open up to you. If they're truly into you, they will open up to you. Okay. You have to know these things, because these things, if like the person never got therapy for it, they were really molested by their mother, their father, by everybody in the household, and it's a man, he's dealing with some wounds, he's dealing with some trauma, you see. And like, it could be that you get into a relationship with such a guy, you never asked, you didn't find out about any of this information, right? And then you get into a relationship with this person, and then like as time goes on, like you could say one word and it could trigger him, and then he would lash out at you, right?
Yes.
He would get really frustrated, and you don't know where it's coming from. So Lance, you want to touch on this?
Oh yeah, you many people, when you speak to them, they're in that, I'm not gonna say honeymoon phase because you're just meeting them, but they're gonna try to. And this is not everybody. Some people are brutally honest. Kudos to those who are, but most clean up their life, right? They give you this picture perfect situation, or they deny certain things, they skirt around certain things, and it's not fair to you. So I'm not saying you have to approach a situation where you're trying to catch a person in a lie. Just make sure to always be alert for any inconsistencies of what they say, especially in the early phases, because in the early phases still, they may have their guard up in certain aspects, but also too, if you're shrewd and even if you're not going to be nitpicky, obviously, right? But even if you are on it they'll sense it and they'll make sure to be on point for the wrong reason of deception. So it's like a job. When you go to a new job, you're willing to, you want to be accepted. So when people ask you questions, you give them answers. It's like, yes, I'm here. That's just where I live. That's my car. Oh, no, I'm not married, but I got 3 kids. And then 2 months later, you're mad that you told these people your business. So you got to catch them off guard and be shrewd. It's just like these state exams or these tests that they give you before you take a state job. Like me, it was corrections. So now they should catch you in a lie to say if you drink or not. So it might be 100 questions, right? Psychological, right? And the 18th question might be, my limit for drinks when I go out are 6 drinks. And you're like, to yourself, you say, I don't drink. But 2 questions before they asked you if you drank, or maybe 10 questions before, and you said, no, that's easy. But then when they ask you about the 6 drinks and you forget because you had all the other questions, or maybe two drinks, or they'll say, I don't mind taking 4 drinks before I drive. And you check yes. Well, I don't mind taking 4 drinks before I drive when I'm hanging out with my friends. Well, you told on yourself because you said earlier you don't drink. You see what I mean? So it's how you frame a question or an inquiry. You have to do this because you could be courting a madman, a murderer, a molester, especially when you have children. You have children and this man is on you. He may be on you. And when I say on you, I don't mean breathing on your back. Very interested in you. It may not be because of you. It might be partially for you, but he sees that you have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old, and he wants to be there when they get to be 15, 16, 17, and the hormones are hitting, and he's in the house in position. These people are shrewd out here. Trust and believe. You got some sick people out here. I don't mean to paint the world as a sick place. It's a beautiful place when you do yourself right and your due diligence. But it's a sick place when you open up all filters and let anything in. Because anything can fly in. You can see the man, but you ain't seeing the spirits. And he might be a good man and a good spirited man and one who's just, but he has to pass the test. Your love is worth more than letting just anybody on in. Even when you think with your conscience, oh, he has a good job, and I know of his former person. It was an amicable breakup, but you don't know. You don't know. You go up and down their social media profile. I know dudes that had 4 and 5 different profiles for 4 or 5 different types of women that he wanted to get with. He had a ghetto profile, so you can impress the women who, I'm not saying in the hood you don't mind because I'm bringing people in the hood, but ghetto mentality that's prevalent there. The young girl who's through college, married woman, the older woman who has a home that's paid for in 2 cars and gets checks from all the. There's one for that, and it's game for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game. It's too easy now. It's too easy to find yourself in someone's life when you're a wayward man. Because most women don't realize that they're wide open. Wide open. They can search you. I mean, I know I'm searchable. I gave up on privacy 20 years ago. We're out there just for real. I can't hide.
Oh my God.
They should forget it. But the thing, there's so much information about us that's out there that's deep enough and know how to search. See, I'm not searching nobody. I know how to search, and you'd be surprised. There are things that people are trying to hide. There's profiles, different types of apps, whatever. You can search images now. You can put another name on a profile. Things will pull together the other faces. Funny because I just mentioned this. There's a lady who follows what I do for years. He's from Ghana, and he's always a lot. We communicate a lot. I mean, once a week, hey, how you doing? And she showed me different events, legitimate events. Man, cool. So, come to find out that but she was a woman on the down funny on her profile. So, in, paying medical stuff or this or that. On these other profiles, just the kind of woman I like. Do with them if you're interested. I'm like, whoa! You never know. Sometimes you're a gorgeous woman who has it all together, presents this imagery to you, and you're just his cover. And he does everything just right. But after a couple of years, you notice there's something off because you're bonding with this person. So the energy's off because he's only another woman, another man. Women will go crazy. Where's the woman? You find out it's another man or man. He's cool with you. He's out there. Every week is 3 or 4 different men. Eye contact. They go in the bathroom. They leave the bathroom. Reality. Crazy out here. Let me shut up.
Yeah, it is crazy. It really is. So you have to do your due diligence. We have to do we have to do our due, but you have to do your due diligence. If you've ever experienced these things he's mentioning, like you have, or even if you haven't, before you get into a relationship, it is so dire. Like you make sure you know how the other person's childhood was. Okay, was there any trauma? Was there love? Was the person loved in their childhood, or was they mistreated? You have to know all these things. They have to be able to open up to you, okay? So now you have an idea of what you're getting yourself into, okay? Because the first 7 years of our lives, it shapes the entirety, like it shapes our teenage lives and our adult lives. So you just have to make sure you understand the person, you know where the person is coming from, before you get into that relationship with the person. The first 7 years. See, the first 7 years, from 1 year old to 7 years old, your mind, you don't have any thoughts. Okay, this is science. This has been proven by science. You can research it. No thoughts. The child is learning everything. Everything he sees, everything he hears, is watching people. He's just watching, studying, picking up all the information, because the child is trying to figure out where it fits in the environment. And it's like, where do I fit in? What is the acceptable way of being? It's learning everything. After 7 years old, it's locked in. That's why there's this there's a saying that goes like, give me the boy and I will show you the man, or something like that. Give me the boy and I'll show you the man. Certain people, the first 7 years, they are told that they're successful, they are superior, they are this. That's all that they teach certain boys. It depends on what race. Certain people, when it's a boy, even a girl, like they repeat certain things. They get it into their head. You are successful. You are this. You are this. You're wealthy. You are rich. You're this. You're this. So the boy goes after that 7 year mark. It's in the boy's head. This is all it heard. Like this is what the boy heard when he was a child. So it's locked in. It's locked in. He cannot be anything less than rich. He cannot be anything less than successful. Do you see? The first 7 years, if your first 7 years was all mistreatment and abuse, man, life gets really hard. Your teenage years, depression. If you were raped or abused, or within that first 7 years, is even worse, because then it's locked in. So now every man you meet wants to take advantage of you. They just meet you just to use you. See, it shapes your whole reality, that first 7 years. So before you get into a relationship with somebody, make sure you find out, just get to know them, find out their childhood, what they used to like, what they used to do, if they used to doodle, draw, what their interests are. Just kind of get a feel of what you're about to get yourself into. Okay, so that now you have all the cards in front of you, so you can now say yes or you can say no. You have to know these things. It's like a little research. Don't just walk into a relationship like those days are over. Okay, those low self-esteem. No, I'm not good enough. I'm not. Forget you. Like we have to forget about all these things. Just if you can think that way, you are most definitely able to think the opposite way of that. Okay, the opposite side of that. Two sides to a coin. So if you can think negative, if you think you're not enough and you're not good enough and you're not beautiful, then you can most definitely think that you are good enough and you are beautiful and you are this and you're that. Okay. There is a man for everybody. There is a woman for every man. There's a man for everyone. Like if you, because with the transgender thing now, if you say this, then it's a problem because of the multiple genders now. But just sticking to the traditional sense, there's a man for you. If you're a young lady, there's a man for you. There's a man out there for you. Okay. You just have to get yourself right. Get yourself right. Eat right. Hydrate. Take care of yourself, your hair, your nails, your health. Make yourself a priority. Okay, for you, so that person when they see you and they can't just, nobody can just walk up to you because it will show that you put work in yourself. You can't have anybody just off the streets just come up to you with your pants sagging and everything and just come up to you and try to run a game on you. No, they won't be able to. You just you'll be distinguished. Like you will not be like the rest. They can't do that. If they can try, but it just won't go anywhere. You know, just work on yourself. Work on yourself so you don't fall into these traps. Really, the first 7 years, you can really make a child that you can. You say you repeat certain words. You have the child first 7 years. All they're watching is success documentaries on how to be rich and all, like it's all about wealth and all. There is no way that child is gonna grow up and be poor. No way. It's its foundation. That is its foundation. It can't deviate from it. That's why they put it in the Bible that teach the child the way it should go and it will never depart from it. That's that. Teach the child the way that it should go and it will never depart from it. Your first 7 years, you can depart from it. Now, you can do healing work and stuff like that and read, say affirmations and stuff like that and kind of reach it, but your foundation is still there. It will always be that foundation. You can never change from it. So if you grew up and they told you that you would never be anything good, that thing is still playing in your mind. It's like a broken record, Exactly. It's still playing in your mind, the back of your mind. You don't hear it, you don't know it because they told you that a long time ago. But it's still there and it's affecting you. So certain opportunities may come up and you may turn them down, and you know what I mean? When it could have been, but you just don't feel like you're up to it. Like you don't feel like you'll be able to, because of those foundational, they call them foundational curses, foundational programming, So
I'm going to the rest. Wait, keep going. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So just get to find out. Find out, sir, if you are interested in the guy and the guy is interested in you. Find out certain things. Just investigate a little bit. You have to know because you're going to be spending your time and your life with the person in a relationship. So you have to know certain things. Okay, this should not be kept from you. So moving on, I want to also say that you don't just eat. Okay, you don't just eat with your mouth, right? You don't just eat with your mouth. You also eat with your eyes and your ears. Your ears are wide open. Your ears are wide open. Your eyes, so you're always absorbing things into you. Okay, music that you listen to. So be mindful. If it's really like chaotic music and it's not your type of music, sometimes you can't really escape it because you go to some of these stores and you're playing the music, you can't really, but I'm just be mindful of the lyrics and how it's repeated, because certain way, like a certain song, you may not even you may not even like it, but because it was playing, or because you work at a gas station and it plays over it, they play it on the radio every single day. Now you know what I mean, and it may not even be a song. Let's say you don't listen to rap music, right? But that's the kind of song that you have to, every time you go to work, that's the kind of song that it affects you. It really affects you. So you have to figure out a way to minimize that. You could reverse, you could say positive affirmations, put sticky notes at the back of your door. I am this, I am attractive, I am beautiful, I am enough, so to counteract the negative things that maybe have been put in your mind through the songs. Set yourself reminders. You can put sticky notes on your mirror, different places. Before you walk out the door, you say it, you affirm it, so that every single day you repetition, so that after a while it sticks, so that no negative songs or can really affect you, because those things are already, in your mind, that your subconscious mind has, received as inputs, like over and over and over. That's why they have to show you certain commercials. After a while, you can even like a neighbor, State Farm is there. It's like it repeated it so many times that little jingles and stuff like that stick. So you could do the same for yourself by putting affirmations to counteract the negative things that you absorb. My other thing too is do not place your happiness on another person. Okay, you are the only one responsible for your happiness. People can die suddenly. Okay, people can just die suddenly. So you have to depend on yourself for your happiness. Don't put your happiness on somebody else. Or you don't put your happiness on an object or something, like so that if you lose it, then what happens? Let's say your car makes you happy. I don't know, like you're happy because you have this item or this person in your life. So, or this pet or whatever. What happens if you lose that thing? Then if you put your happiness on that, then when that thing goes, then so is your happiness. Put your happiness you are responsible for your own happiness. Don't put it on somebody else. Okay.
Yes.
Do things that make you happy. Don't put that responsibility on another person. It's not fair. Okay. You have the little things that make you happy. Like if watching comedy makes you happy, then watch comedy. Do things that make you happy. But don't expect your partner to become a comedian and say funny jokes all the time. And it's don't put your happiness on another person. So I'm trying to say, it's just not fair. Okay, Lance, you wanna?
No, I was just laughing at what you were saying. To be comedian, so funny jokes. That's funny. The same joke can throw off on women also. Let me get right to the point. The visuals you see on pressure women to be that, not realizing that this is photoshopped and filtered and all of this that perform. Hey, this is money, and they usually have a drug problem, alcohol problem, depression problem, whatever. And your mind is blasted with all of this stuff. Okay. No, you're not getting married to somebody or getting with somebody to be their own personal porn freak. There's things that two people do they like to do, fine, between the both of them, fine. But don't be so love starved or think you're starving for, I'm not going to meet another man as good as him and whatever, and you give in and you just give in and give out. Don't do anything that you're not comfortable with, no matter what it is. And so if the man can't deal with that, then let him go. Bottom line. And like you said, do the things that bring you joy. Don't let nobody say it's corny. Why do you want to do that? I love drawing. I love riding my unicycle. I love riding my bicycle. I like lifting weights. I want to get back into that. I like certain things, right? So the next person may not like that. The person you're with may not like the things, maybe some of it. Hopefully there's some overlap. And if there's not, there's got to be a mutual respect for you being an individual, because you're still an individual even though you're in a relationship. And there's so many men out here who think that, oh, you're in a relationship, you can't be you no more. Then what did you get in a relationship with me for then if I can't be me? That should be the attraction, that you're unique. That there may be overlapping things that you like to do, interests, and there are things that make you unique. Those are the wonderful things too, because it helps to introduce new things into your world to help you to expand. But some people are set in their ways. And so this is why we have a lot of these old, crusty dudes that want to go after young women because their bodies are fresh, but they're set in their ways and they limit you. And they know how to manipulate you. They know how to manipulate women. I'm in love with him. I know he's a little older, but I'm in love with him. Oh my God, I don't know what I'll do without him. He's such a good man. Because he's made to appear that way. And there's you like that at work, but there's a lot of manipulation going on out here to become what you want, to lure you in. But I'm really going to make you become what I want you to become for my twisted, selfish needs. If it's a mutual thing, like, listen, let's go down the list. And this is what we should do. Go down the list. State the things that you desire and what you might even require. And it's up to me to decide if I can fulfill that for you. Right? But we don't talk anymore. We don't communicate anymore. And so for the young ladies that are out there, you must communicate and like I said, draw the line in the sand and what you will and will not do. That way nobody's time gets wasted, and it makes that man level up or get out. Because time flies. You're 18 one minute, you're 25 the next, and you're 32. Boom, you're 40. Then you're really leaping now, because now you know a little bit about life. Once you hit 40, yeah, the time can go on nice if you do things right for yourself. Like you said earlier, you're the most important person in your life. But we have a lot of people out here who have gone through things in their childhood and they feel less than, and they have to be validated by somebody. So they see somebody with a modicum of power. Oh my God, he's got his life. Look, he's in uniform. Oh, everybody respects him. He's got this status. Yes. But my low self-esteem and his super status, I'll be all right. Nah, you might be like a piece of meat on a shish kebab stick for him now, because he can really control you. Don't let nobody control you. Don't do nothing you don't want to do. Don't be with anybody you don't, even to the slightest thing. Like Green Wisdom said, learn to say no.
100%.
Go ahead, sister.
100%. Yep, spot on. My next point, because you already explained everything for that point. So, which that point was, yeah, do not place your happiness on another person. Oh, sorry, but you said.
No, I said I'm sorry. I was like that kid in the class that explained everything in the next chapter before the weekend came, so everybody had to answer. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. No, it's fine. It's you. You actually went in. You actually went in and explained it. This one, and it's gonna be like maybe a few more points, and then I don't want it to, because this could be. This could go on forever, and I don't want it to, because there's going to be a part 2 to this. So,
oh, definitely. Thank you.
I don't want this to be like running on forever, because I know we all have things to do, and it might be getting late and stuff. So, yeah. So my next point is, you are nobody's victim. Internalize this anyhow you want. You are nobody's victim. Okay. Things may have happened to you at a time where you didn't have the knowledge, you didn't have the tools, you didn't have the resources, you didn't know what was going on, you were in a vulnerable situation. Things may have happened. Okay, things were able to happen because of all these factors. Okay, you were in a in a childhood or in a different situations. You are nobody's victim though. You are nobody's victim. Things happened, they took place, and you, because of, like I listed earlier, like lack of knowledge, not having all the tools, not having all the answers, and certain things were able to happen in your life. But that does not make you a victim. You're nobody's victim. Okay? Because you become a victim when you remain in that same place that the person however many people and whatever they inflicted or did to you, you remain that way. But if you were able to rise above it, you were able to overcome it, you were able to, level up and, do different things and overcome that whole situation, and it's now in your past, then you overcame it. You're no longer a victim. You're not a victim. Okay. It's, things happen, even if it could be, you could have had a perfect childhood, but every time, like at home, but every time you went to school, you got bullied, right? You could have, just things happen. Okay. And because you don't have all the tools, you don't have the knowledge, you are in a unfortunate situation where you don't have the advantage. You were at a disadvantage because of things you didn't know, or you didn't know the person that you was dealing with was a narcissist, or the person was mentally ill. You didn't know any of this stuff. So things were able to happen to you because you didn't know this, so therefore you couldn't protect yourself, or you couldn't get away, or you couldn't hide, or you couldn't run away, whatever the situation could have been. But because you didn't have all the tools, things were able to happen to you. Okay. But now that you know better, now that you are an adult, now that a young woman, an adult, now that you're no longer in that place, in that situation, you're nobody's victim. You make the rules. Okay. Whatever the person tried to do to you, you're no longer there. You don't live there no more. Like, you're no longer there. You're not in that situation. You're not in that environment anymore. So you're not a victim. Okay. Rise above it, rise above the things that, because people try to do things for a certain, like some people try to do things to get you in a certain situation. Like, let's say somebody would do something so that it can get you in a compromising situation, it's so many scenarios and so many instances and situations, right? But if you're no longer there, okay, you're no longer that child, you're no longer a little child at the mercy of everybody, you are now an adult. I'm telling you, you're not a victim. Okay, rise above it. You're not a victim. You're not giving no power to nobody, no predator. You're not giving no power to no narcissistic mother or narcissistic father or narcissistic uncle, auntie, whoever, narcissistic pastor, whatever the title is that they're rocking. You're no longer there. You're now an adult. So now you can, what I mean? You can make decisions. You can make decisions from this point on because you were at a disadvantage. So things were able to happen. Okay. Things you were taking advantage of, no problem. It happened because you didn't have all the tools. You didn't know what's going on. You were in a vulnerable situation. We've all been there. But you are nobody's victim. You have to say this to yourself. I am nobody's victim. Empower yourself. Okay? Because of some mentally ill person, that person that doesn't have a proper thinking skills, thought they could do something to you and get away, and you now live with a burden. You know what I mean? You feel victimized, and now you live with that burden that somebody did. You were innocent. You had nothing to do with it. Somebody did this to you, and now you got to live for the rest of your life thinking that you are this, but when you're not, okay? So try to examine the situation that you've ever been in, and just, like I said, make up your mind, not make up your mind, but just know this, as the truth for yourself, that you're nobody's victim. Okay. You are nobody's victim at all. They may have done some things and got away with it, Karma, if karma hasn't caught up with it, it will. It's you. If you do something to somebody, okay, that the person hasn't done anything to you, and you do something to somebody, it's gonna come back to you. I don't care how many years it takes. If you have ever been in a situation where you were taken advantage of, it was the person was doing it to make you feel small, to make you feel, to get a certain effect, like a certain result out of it. You can rise above that result, whatever the person expectation the person had when they was doing it. You can rise above it, which no longer makes you a victim. Okay, you are not a victim. Empower yourself and move on from it. So that you don't carry that burden as the innocent person. Now you're carrying this burden of all these negative feelings and everything else when it's not really yours. The person was feeling those things and projected it onto you, had to inflict it on you, you see? So you have to rise above that, rise above whatever they put on you, rise above it, give it back to them. They are now the victims, honestly, because whatever they tried to do to you didn't affect you. Turn things around and make that person the victim. It's all about mindset. You have to shift, turn the tables around. You have to shift the way you think, okay? You can overcome anything. It's built inside of you. If you look at all these, from all these slavery times and all the different things that a lot of people went through, and we're here, we're the descendant, we're the results of all the hard work other people. You can overcome anything, okay? You can overcome anything. So just most of the time too, it's like it's generational. Sometimes if it's like molestation, your great grandmother experienced it, and then she had your parent, your mother or whatever, and she also experienced it, and it just keeps on. It's ridiculous. Sometimes it's generational, but I'm telling you, you can rise above it. You can rise above any of those situations by turning the tables around. It won't give no narcissistic person, no wicked person that took advantage of you, the power. You make them the victim, make them the laughing stock, because they thought they could do that to destroy it, but here you are. Okay, overcome it. And then my next point is, I think Brother Lance already talked about it, but set boundaries. Set boundaries every time you walk out your home. Make sure you remind yourself of your boundaries. Okay, if you're somebody who's forgetful, try to, like I said, put sticky notes, around the house, on the walls, wherever, so you can remember to set boundaries. Okay, boundaries are things you absolutely would not tolerate. Okay, they're things you not tolerate. Like certain people, they don't ever want to be in an area or in a certain speaker. It was one of the speakers. She said that one of her boundaries is that she never wants to be in an area or an environment where somebody is mistreating a child in front of her. That's like, it doesn't work for her. She said she's going to step in. It don't matter if it's her child or if it's not her child, she's going to step in. She cannot be, that's just one of her things where she absolutely cannot tolerate. There's certain things that's like, well, that's not really a boundary. That's just her thing. But you have to say certain things, like certain things you will not tolerate in your life. Maybe somebody talking to you anyhow, mistreating you, or somebody taking your stuff and not telling you. They took your shoes and they didn't tell you about. You live in the same house. There's certain things that you absolutely would not tolerate. Like, let's say hygiene things, like maybe you have your separate, hygiene products or what, and somebody keeps somebody you live with. It could be a sibling, it could be a cousin or whatever, and they keep using your stuff and whatnot. These are things that there's certain things you will not tolerate. You know what I mean? That if somebody violates it, you know what I mean, you will put them in their place. That's what boundaries are. Set boundaries. Things that they're boundaries for a reason. It's like a wall. Okay, you are in the center and it protects you. So anybody breaches that boundary, this there's a price to pay. It doesn't have to be harsh or anything, but you have to put the person in a place that, or you have to remind the person that, hey, I don't like this. I don't like that you did this. This is like one of my biggest things, and I don't like that you did it. So set boundaries. That's what boundaries are. We're not taught boundaries, okay? And when we're young and we're little, sometimes our boundaries get blurred, okay? Sometimes the parents don't know where they end and where you begin, okay? Sometimes boundaries can easily get blurred. So all you got to do is, it doesn't have to be like a long list. It could just be like 2 or 3 things that you don't like done to you, okay? Those are boundaries. So make sure you set your boundaries. Make sure if you don't know what boundaries are, Google it. What are the top 10 like boundaries a person can have? Google it. It will come up. You have to have boundaries. You have to have boundaries. Like your boundary could be like, let's say you are at a grocery store or you are walking at a parking lot and somebody just walks up to you and just start talking to you. That could be a boundary because it's your safety. You have to also think about your safety. What if the person walks up to you, talk to you, and they just pull a knife? They just pull a knife, and certain things you don't want. Like maybe your boundary could be like you don't want a stranger to be too close to you when you're talking. Like like maybe if somebody comes and talks to you like in your face, you could step back to assert your boundary. Step a few steps back and assert your boundary. That's what I'm talking about. Like boundaries, a lot of people don't know what boundaries are. Okay, boundaries protect you. Your boundaries protect you. Okay, it's your protection. There has to be a place where a person ends and you begin, or where you begin and a person ends. Like there has to be a boundary, a separation, almost like a wall. A boundary protects you. Okay, have boundaries. It could be 2 boundaries, 3 boundaries. There's certain things that is non-negotiable. Somebody breaches that boundary, that's it. There's no explanations. They're gone. You have to set boundaries. And sometimes we can set boundaries and then we keep giving people second chances. They will violate, they will breach it, they will violate it. You've told them several times you don't like this. You don't like when they do this, but they don't listen. Like they keep pushing their limits. They keep breaching it. That's where you really have to, stand your ground. Like you really have to assert, like reinforce that boundary because it protects you. So have boundaries. It's really important as a young woman. Oh my gosh. As a young woman, if you are, you're young, you're youthful, you are healthy, you're, just fun to be with, and everything. People are going to try to test your boundaries. Okay. People are going to try to come at you and try to, get close to you, and you have to have boundaries to keep them out because your boundaries protect you. It's kind of like a house. House has a door, right? It has doors, it has windows. It's all for your protection. It surrounds you inside a house. It protects you. Boundaries, it does the same thing. It's like an invisible wall that protects you. But in childhood, the boundaries are blurred easily. If you have a lot of siblings, you live in a home with a lot of people, boundaries is usually blurred, like people just do whatever, and it's like, it's really hard to assert your, but as an adult, like as a young woman, you have to be able to reinforce, like set new boundaries if you want to. Okay, if you are forgetful, write them on a sticky note and put them behind your door, put them on on your walls, so you're constantly reminding yourself of your boundaries if you're a forgetful person. Okay, so moving on, right? Always remember that you are loved, even if you are single, and not in a relationship. Okay. If you're not in a relationship, you are loved. You are loved. You are always loved. Okay. If you exist, okay, you exist, and you contribute to the ecosystem we call life, like the plants, and the plants giving oxygen. What is it? The plants giving, what are the plants giving these days? I'm sorry.
Oh,
The plants are giving you something. Yeah.
yeah, we give them
Like,
that.
you're saying something?
I'm saying we give them carbon dioxide, give them
Yeah.
oxygen. They give us, yeah. So it's a mutual.
Yeah, there's always this give and take vibe going on. There's always this like reciprocation. You think the plants don't appreciate you giving, you giving out, something they need, and they, it's all love. Okay, you are loved. You the elements are here for you. Like, the plants are here to bear fruit so that you can eat. The sun, the air, you have, there's air around you so you can breathe, and you are really loved. Okay, do you not see like all the elements? I mean, are we really caught up in this artificial world to where we just we've lost it? Like, we can't really, maybe that's what the problem is. I think that's what the problem is. Maybe we're too caught up in this artificial material life so much that we can't even notice like these little truths, about life. All these elements, they're working for you. Okay, all these elements are here to serve you, to assist you. Okay, even when you look at your human body, your eyelashes, they protect the eyes from certain things. Your lungs filter in the air. It's just, everything is just so, it's all love. Okay, your heart is beating every day, pumping blood. Your kidneys are filtering everything, like all the water that you drink is filtering the juices, filtering everything out and keeping the nutrients and supplying it back into the bloodstream. Everything is loving you. Okay, you are loved. You are so loved. You don't even know it. Everything from the inside of you all the way out. But because we have been in close proximity to certain people, we have been exposed to certain types of people, different, like you said, crazy people. We have been exposed. Little things have been done that have gone unnoticed, but it can really affect your sense of, like, it can really affect you, okay, and how you see yourself. Remove yourself from this artificial world, remove yourself from all these people, and just really see how much you are loved. Okay, somebody described this thing like, it's like life is like a boat. Okay, it's like a boat. Everybody is on this boat. You have whoever, the main person that's like guiding the sail, and whatnot, like a small, I'm not talking about a ship, I'm just talking about a small boat. It's a bunch of people.
Okay, she fell off, so I'm assuming she's going to take the link and come back in. Did pretty good for the time that we've been on, though. She clicked off like twice before, but she completely fell off. Let me text her. Maybe she doesn't realize it. Hold tight. Hold tight. Let me text her. Okay, there she is.
Of how much?
Yes, you're back. You're back. You fell off. I don't even think you realized it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. You sound really clear too. Because at first it was a little bit choppy, but you sound really clear.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But yeah, so I don't know where I left off. I was saying, okay, I was describing that this life is like a boat. Okay, life is like a boat. We're all inside of this boat, and we have one person, like, um guiding it, like the sails and whatnot, and we're just all in this boat, and some people are at the front of the boat, some people are at the back of the boat. That's life. We're all in this boat. Nobody knows who created the boat. Who really created this boat? Nobody knows. But
I
we
know,
all
right?
happen to be in it. Huh?
No, I was saying
No.
I know who really created it. That's true.
Right. Don't you just wish that this creator could just show itself, like, really, like, come on,
There's a,
you know?
yeah, there's a whole lot of things I'd love to know. Right? Amazing.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's all these religions and all these things. Like, just show yourself already, just let us see. I mean, but it is what it is, though. I mean, well, whoever the creator is, left all these little clues, little things for us to remind ourselves of how much we are loved. Okay, you are, whether you're single, how this TV has programmed us, how it talks about how, like, you don't have a life if you're not in a relationship. You don't have a life. They put that in TV, especially sitcoms, and they make it like they laugh about it. They make it sound funny and whatnot. Like, oh, I'm not in a relationship, so I don't have a life. Really? They've put that they put that in our minds, and a lot of people. That's why a lot of people don't like to be single, because of that. Because they think if they're not in a relationship, they don't have a life. So long as you woke up in the morning, you have a life. So long as you have air in your lungs, okay, you're breathing, you have a life. The people who don't have a life are at the morgue. Go to the morgue, and you're gonna see the freezers, -2 degrees, stone cold human bodies in there. Those are the people that don't have a life. Okay, if you are breathing, you have a life. We have to let go of this TV the narratives. All these narratives on the TV, we have to let them go. Okay, don't believe nothing that they're telling you on the TV about you don't have a life because you're single, so you don't have a life. What? You waking up every day, you cooking, you have a life. You breathing, you going about your life. How do you not have a life? That's because you're single. When you were a toddler, were you in a relationship? When what is it, an infant, and you've always been single. Okay, you've always been. We've been single from the womb. Okay, from the time we came out of the womb. It's a certain way society wants us to operate. Okay, you can choose to go along with it and conform to it and everything else. That's fine. Or you can choose to work on yourself and just change certain things that society has programmed you, so you can live a much more fulfilling life. There are people right now who are depressed because they're single. A breakup, somebody breaks up with somebody, oh my gosh, it's like their life has ended. Certain people can't even get out of bed. They can't get it together. It's just there's so many potential, like there's so many, potential mates. So, out there, it's just one person it's like a drop out of the ocean, and you're sitting there, your whole life has ended, and it's just not really, you see, it's so crazy. It's the mind. The mind is a tool. It's something that the mind, the body, and the spirit. These are 3 separate entities: mind, body, spirit. You're not going to confuse the body. You're not going to confuse one with the other. It's just 3 different: mind, body, spirit. All these have come together to become one. 3 in 1. You are all of this in totality. Okay, you have to use your mind. You have to use your mind for your benefit. You have to use your body for your benefit. You have to use your spirit for your benefit. If you don't know how to do it, there's lots of videos on it. But you are loved. Okay, don't let anybody convince you that because you're single and you're not loved or you don't have a life, and that forces you to rush into any relationship that presents itself, just because you don't want to be single. No. So just know that you are loved, okay? Everything is working out for you, like just everything. The way you have the air that you're breathing, the plants are supplying you food, the sun is making things grow, the seeds grow so that you can, so they can be food. Everything is just working perfectly for you. If you remove yourself out of this machine world, out of this artificial man-made world, and just really put yourself in nature, feel the love, okay? You are loved. You are so loved. Look at the squirrels in nature. They wake up and they go about their day. They're picking up nuts and whatnot, and everything's provided for them. They don't have to live in. They don't have to be. What is it? They're out there in nature. They're out there in the cold. They don't have any furniture, nothing, but they're content. And they're content. If an animal is content, then how come a human being is not? Worried about being single, worried about it. We really have to examine where we are mentally, like as a people, big time. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks like this, but it's just half of the things that we allow to affect our lives. It's not even like, it's nothing. You just change your mind about it and it's gone. So just always remember that you are loved, okay? Remember that you are loved. So long as a heart is beating, you are loved. Your heart loves you, okay? Your heart loves you. Your everything about you, your cells, your everything is working for you. Everything. Your colon, everything is working for you. You are really loved from the inside out. You have to know this though. You have to know that you are loved. You are really loved, okay? Everything in your being it represents love. Okay? I'm not gonna do something for somebody I don't love, okay? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do favors for somebody I don't love or I hate. I'm not. You have to, like, certain things are going on because of you are worthy of love. You are loved. That's why things are just working out for you. Things are going on for you. Even if things on the outside, like your personal life, like your job, whatever, different situation, relationships not working. Just know that within yourself, you are loved. So moving on. Unless, Lance, you want to add anything to it?
Oh, no, you think that's the job you just did.
Okay, I'll move on. Okay, so my next one, and this is going to be like a few more, and then I want to end it so that we can continue, because I made a long list, fam. I made a long list. You won't believe it.
It's necessary. Complaining.
Yeah. Okay, this next point is in psychology. In psychology, there's a term called psychological projection. Psychological projection. So try and research and watch videos on this subject. Right? If you can write it down, it's called psychological projection. Projection. If you think about a projector, right? Whatever is on that projector is what's going to be projected on the screen. For when you go to the movies, the projector is projecting onto the screen for you to see what's on the screen. But the screen is there. The screen is separate. The projector is separate. Okay. The projector projects onto the screen. There has to be something that the projector can project onto. Okay. People do this and they call it it's a psychological thing. Let's say somebody is feeling really angry. They see you and they try to like say something mean to you. Oh, you have this ugly dress. What an ugly dress or whatever. They're projecting. They're trying to get you to be angry too. And you can choose not to. You can choose not to respond, or it could hurt your feelings because maybe this is your favorite dress or whatever, and you can lash out back at them. They just project it onto you to have you feeling the way they're feeling, make you angry the way they're angry, or whatever it is that what's going on in their lives. Okay, psychological projection, people projecting onto other people. Okay, let's use another example. The guy is the one that has the crush on you. Okay, you're a young lady, and you may not even, you're not even interested in the person, but he's really, always coming around. And then, maybe you work in the same environment, especially at the workplace. It usually happens. People try to get in relationships at the workplace. It's crazy. I mean, it happens, but yeah. But let's say he saw you at the job, he likes you, so coming around and everything else, and he's a coworker, so you entertain him and whatnot. And then once you get to talk to him for a couple of weeks, for some time, now he starts teasing you. He starts to tease you, like, he's the one that has the crush on you. You're not even interested. You just got done with a breakup, and you just doing your thing or whatever, and he just he's been around you enough, so he start like making jokes, like, oh, I bet you like, I don't even know the example to use, like, oh, I bet you're you're interested in me because I brought my favorite, I brought your favorite, I bought the whatever, I'm trying to find an example, but you see, like, he likes you, but he tries to turn it around on you. So every chance he gets, he's gonna say something. Oh, you really, really like me. You've been talking to me. You always talk to me when you come to work. You really, really like me. You really are into me. See, he's like, that's how he feels, but he's trying to put it on you to make it. So after, I'm telling you, after somebody does that for a while, you get convinced, like, your mind, like, you start thinking, maybe I am interested in him. Maybe he is right. Maybe I'm interested in, you see? Projection, psychological projection. The projector, we pretty much, human beings, we pretty much are, we're pretty much something that somebody can just project onto. Whatever emotions they're feeling, they can easily project on you. Know what's yours and what's not yours. Okay? As a young woman, know what you're feeling, what's yours and what belongs to the person. And don't take on somebody else's don't take on something that doesn't belong to you, somebody's emotion, and now you're so angry because of what the person said, and they're trying to project how they felt on you, so you can feel their pain. You can feel the same way they're feeling. Misery loves company. So I'm miserable, so I got to make you miserable. So now you got whatever it is, you go home, you're still upset, you're really angry, it's total strange. You're calling people and you're telling everybody about this person. They're just total stranger, and he was so rude, and he projection, he just projected onto you. Psychological projection. But you could just, like, if the person made a strange comment, made a rude comment about what you're wearing, or whatever it is, the person made a rude comment, you could just, like, not even pay attention at all. Like, this is a total stranger. They could be drunk. They could be whatever. I'm not even, learn what psychological projection is. So many videos on it. Somebody projects onto you. It could be at a job. It could be a family member, whatever it is. Learn to not take their stuff. Okay. Don't take their stuff. And now you're all upset, you're mad, all these things affect your body. Anger lowers your immune system. This is science. You have to look it up. Anger, it lowers your immune system. Your immune system is your defense. Once your immune system is down, you're wide open for cold, flu, all kinds of diseases. Okay, so you have to make sure you don't allow somebody to affect you to where it will actually affect you physically. It's crazy. There's really crazy people out there. Okay, so my next point is, you always have a choice. It may not be the choice that you like, but you always have a choice. See, we always are put into situations where we feel like, oh my gosh, I have no choice. You do have a choice. You always have a choice. So long as there's right or wrong, left and right, you always have a choice. So whatever choice you're presented, what is the other side of that choice? Examine all your choice. You always have a choice, okay? Any situation that you are faced, like any serious situation that you're facing, you don't have a way out. Figure out what your because you already have a choice. You have a choice. If that situation, so if it's either a yes or a no, right? It's either heads or tails. So whatever situation that comes your way, just know you have a choice. The choice is yours. Like, isn't that what Captain Planet said? The choice is yours. It just came to my mind. But yeah, you always have a choice. If you are faced with a certain difficult situation, examine your choices. Just know that you have a choice in every situation. So long as it's day and night, you have a choice. Because we live in a duality. We live in a dual world, right or wrong, left and right, and all kinds of stuff. Black and white, day, like I said, day and night, sunny or raining, whatever. We have these, do always have these heads or tails, opposing sides. So if you've been presented one side, then there's another side you have to look into. So you always have a choice. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, the last point that I want to make, so that this is going to be, this is going to be the last point, and then hopefully, Lance, you can chime into it, and then we will, close it, and then we'll come out with a part 2. So the last point I want to make here to the young women is that beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Okay. Remember this whenever someone calls you ugly, that person is simply not the beholder of your beauty. And so the person's mind cannot compute the complexity of your true beauty. Now, beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Okay. There is a beholder of your beauty. Your beauty is in such a way that it requires a beholder. Okay. Not just anybody. Now, you can put on makeup, you can, fool people, not fool people, but you can put on makeup and just like trick people, it's like, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people, find Beyonce attractive and beautiful and whatnot, that's fine. But there's a specific beholder, like there is somebody that is like, won't be able to take their eyes off you. That's what I'm trying to beholder. Like they can't get enough of you type of, that person exists. Okay. If your type of beauty is there, you have this, whatever it is qualities that you got, there's a beholder. There's a beholder. Okay. You're not ugly. If anybody calls you ugly, they're just not your beholder. They're not the beholder of your beauty. The mind can't wrap your mind around how your face would, it just can't. Their minds cannot do that because they're not capable. They're not the beholder. Okay. I don't want to like stress this too much, but just know that your beauty, everybody has a beauty. Okay. Everybody has a beauty. Some people have dimples. Some people have, just like high cheekbone, whatever. There's a beholder for that specific beauty that you carry. It's not for everybody. Okay. It's not, you honestly don't even want everybody to find you attractive. That's ridiculous. Like, I mean, it may not be, but it's like every single man finds you beautiful. That's too, that's just too crazy. I mean, it's not, but it is, maybe you can expand on this, but there's a specific person that can behold the beauty that you have. Behold. Okay, look up that word behold. It's in the eye. The eye of, that means it's a physical person with eyes. Because we really have to break this down, because beauty that we've been told, people think their beauty is the big breast is what makes them beautiful. Some people think maybe, I don't know, like their long hair makes them beautiful. Maybe it's weird. Different things that people think about, like when it comes to beauty. You can walk out the door with no makeup, no make you can even walk out barefoot if you want. Like it don't matter. Like you can be in torn clothes, okay, clothes that are falling apart. Your hair, you haven't combed your hair for like a week. I don't care, and walk out. And the beholder of your beauty, like he would be so messed. Like he will not be able to take his eyes off you. Like it's like it's a chemistry. It's something that occurs in the brain. The eyes are attached to the brain, right? Because the eyes send information into the brain and the brain interprets it. It's complex. It really is. But I'm telling you, if you sitting here, if somebody ever made you feel ugly, the person is just not, they just came into your life to maybe take advantage of you or use you or whatever. They're just not the one, okay? They're not the one. Now it falls on you to work on yourself, polish yourself up, just get your hair, like your hair shining, your hair healthy. Just you work on yourself. I'm telling you, and you will meet your beholder. The universe is the biggest matchmaker, okay? Your vibration, your frequency. It's like a magnet. It pulls the two of you together. The more you work on yourself, the more he's working on himself. I'm telling you, you will be a match. You will be a match to your beholder when the time comes. But you could be that you're single because you haven't done enough work on yourself. So that's like a sign. That's like a clue, for you to get on it. Get on it. Nobody's ugly. There's a beholder for every beauty out here. Look, nature, I always refer to nature. Nature will always, look at nature. Like, this 100% of the things that are plaguing human beings, nature is not affected by any of it. And they live out in the harshest, all the weather's cold, freezing cold, and like they don't have any furniture, any material things. And it's like, it's really, it's crazy. Like they have videos of birds, right? And this bird, it literally picks leaves. It picks leaves, falling leaves off of it, and it clears the ground. It clears the environment. And then it sits there. Male bird. The male bird sits there, waits for the female. So when the female flies up and the female gets up there, then the bird, there's this specific bird, its eyes changes from green to yellow. And then he starts dancing, like the male bird spreads his wings and starts making this crazy dance. And then once it gets the approval of the female, that's it. If the female rejects it, then it has to, do it all over again for a different bird until it finds a specific. We're natural beings, okay? There's somebody for you, specifically for you, that can appreciate the beauty that you have. But we haven't been taught this, so we just give ourselves away to every man and anyone. We just been given. They're not the beholders. That's why they couldn't last. That's why they couldn't stick around. Okay, they're not the beholders. That's why they didn't even know how to handle you, how to treat you. They're not the one. They're not the one intended for you. Okay, so this whole idea of I'm ugly, I'm not pretty because my nose is flat. I'm not pretty because get rid of it. Start working on yourself. Don't matter how you look, because you got a beholder, but you have to get yourself to that level so he can meet you there. He may have already been, doing his spiritual baths and like really eating healthy and everything, but you're still on processed foods. Okay, you're on processed foods. You're on tap water. You're not detoxing. So obviously you're still going to remain single because you haven't gotten yourself up there to be a perfect match for that beholder. It's got to match. You see. So that's the final message, and I'm gonna give it to Brother Lance to complete it. But I also want to apologize for the beginning of the show. I my mic was muted, so I thought I was muted, right? So
No need.
I saw something and it made a loud sound like in the beginning stages of the video, so my apologies for that.
No need to apologize. So, I have a little humming on my side. You don't hear it, I'll ignore it. Something going on over my side. I hear your side. You just, when I have the phone on the shoulder, you just hear how it sounds. Your side. Yeah, it's humming. It's humming pretty bad. So I'm not going to stay too long. I'm going to talk slow to negate the humming that's coming through. But I just want to say that we've only touched the tip of the iceberg. And this was a really intensive list that you have. And it wasn't just a general listing that you'd see on any other YouTube video. You see, you went in on certain points that you've learned from experience. So hands-on and experience. And a lot of these points, a lot of women will experience, and it won't be on the list. It's like nobody's going to tell them, even if they have somebody to tell them, they may not get these. So understand that you're appreciated. And I hope there are young ladies out there that get a chance to listen to this and not get fooled by the fluff that's out there. And if you have a granddaughter or a daughter, a friend who may need to hear this, you know, kick it in there, just listen, because something in there is definitely going to hit you, because it's not to condemn or not to accuse, but this was very empowering. And that's the spirit that Green Wisdom came in. She was there to empower through her own experiences of what wasn't told to her. That's the ultimate sacrifice, to bare your soul to the world and say, wow, you know, I didn't get this, but I learned this. Trial and error, maybe a little few mishaps or whatever, but I learned this and I want to pass this on. So Green Wisdom is showing you the ultimate love. She could say to herself, well, let them learn themselves. But no, she said, let's come on here. I made this list. This is a special gift. We had the whole holidays, but this might be the best gift that you ever had during the holiday time, even though it's technically over. So don't waste your time anywhere else. Listen to this. It's not long. We're here. It's been 3 hours and 20 minutes. But when you consider the effect on your whole lifetime, your entire lifetime, trust me, listen to this good stuff and you'll save decades and a lot of heartache and a lot of regret. Just have to say thank you, Sister Green Wisdom. It's always a pleasure. And I'm waiting for part 2 for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Brother Lance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just want to shout out Dr. Tracy Bond. I will answer the email tonight. I was all over the place this last bit of time. My sleep was off, getting good sleep now, and we're going to continue our trek. But yes, it's a lot to digest, but it's a good meal. It's one of those meals that was so good I don't want to leave the table. I'm going to probably play it over again tonight as I doze off, because even though this is for the young women out here, as a man, to sharpen my blades with this kind of wisdom can still help me to help a young lady out there just in case she needed me, you know? Anyway, much love to you. Much love to everybody who's listening to this now and who hears it in the future. It's an honor and a pleasure. And again, I can't wait for part 2. Don't keep us waiting too long now, sister. Okay?
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful night. Thank you.
You too. Peace.
Mm-hmm.